ready for the Battle by the Bay. Today's inaugural race at Levi Stadium has us bringing Supercross to Silicon Valley, the center of the high-tech boom. But we're bringing our own boom. While Ryan Dungey grabbed his second career Monster Energy Supercross championship, Honda's Cole Seeley became the 6th different 450 Supercross winner. Could tonight be his 5th podium of the season? In Houston, Cooper Webb may have clinched the 250 West title, but a snarling pack of racers like Shane McElrath, Malcolm Stewart, and Zach Osborne have their sights set on the podium. It's action-packed today on Race Day Live. Hello everyone, welcome to Race Day Live on supercrosslive.com. We are here in beautiful Santa Clara, California at Levi Stadium. It is round 15 of the 2015 Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. I'm your host, Andy Boyer, and beside me, as always, is Factory Supercross legend Jim Hollywood Holly. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's good to be here, Andy, in Santa Clara. Beautiful weather we have here for this weekend. You got to remember that, you know, the past few weeks we've been in domes.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of these 3 rounds, the final here in you know, Levi Stadium next weekend in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and then the final in Las Vegas at Sam Boyd. All open dome stadiums. Makes it hard on the riders, makes it hard on the crews out there, the Fell Dirtworks guys, to get the moisture into the ground here. They've been battling it all day, but I think when that sun goes down, it should be good racing tonight.
Yeah, you're going to hear us say the sunshine quite a bit today because we have a lot of it, but we have a huge show today. We have, starting off our guest list, we have Ken Roczen. You know, won in 2 of the first 3 races of this series, a former world champion. It's going to be awesome to have Ken on the show. We're also going to have legendary Troy Lee, helmet painter, team manager, motocross pioneer. It's going to be great to talk to Troy. We're going to have Lynn Groom joining us from AMSOIL. And, you know, you'd want to talk about a guy that knows what he's doing with oils. This guy, he knows what's up.
I really enjoyed the chat we had with him, you know, in Phoenix, Arizona, round 2. It was great to have him on the show. And Jeremy Meyer.
Jeremy Meyer, right. You know, he's been with Factory Connection Partnership since 1998. So that's really cool right there. It's going to be great to have Jeremy on the show. And also, an exciting guest, we're going to have Malcolm Stewart come up and talk to us. Mookie, you know, the Predator, whatever you want to call him, man. This guy's got a ton of personality. Had a heck of a weekend last weekend in Houston. But
I think there's only one word to say, tough. This kid is tough to go through what he went through last weekend to finish up on the podium. Huge.
Absolutely. And we sat down and talked to Ryan Dungey, our new champion. We talked to who's next. So it was cool to hear from him. He's in a great spirits. But hey, 3 races to go. Here we are in Santa Clara. It's round 15. Got a super challenging track, a huge triple, and some pretty intense rhythm lanes.
Yeah, that triple you mentioned about, it's on the far side of the track there. I mean, it really hucks the guys up there. It's almost like they get up there and they kind of stall out, and then they just drop down on that landing. It'll be hard, especially for that 250 class.
Absolutely. Well, we just spoke about the track a little bit. Let's take a closer look with the Kawasaki track map.
Well, something you're going to see, Andy, a little bit different than in weeks past. A long straightaway here. These guys are going to come out, hit second. They're going to start in second, hit third, hit fourth, possibly maybe fifth into that sweeping left-hand corner. And after that, it's a nice rhythm lane. And if you can triple some sections and triple into the left-hander after that, that would be huge. If you can do that, triple out of it, and then get into this other rhythm lane, it just
double,
3
triple,
times.
triple,
just get in, get out of it. That right-hander after that, you're going to come up and over the double. Here's the Monster Energy finish line right there, and as soon as you land from there, you're going to make a hard left and go back down that starting line. You're going to shift a couple times and get back into this right-hander, and that right-hander, very short. Look for guys to go underneath. You get a whoop section, a little bit of a break, step on, step off, and then some more whoops as you head into that left-hander. Here's that triple we were talking about. Even the arrow looks like it hangs up there a little bit. As soon as you land from there, if you can triple that section there and then make that left-hander there and come out of there, you're going to step on, step off, and that's the key to keep that momentum flowing through that timing section right there, and then the left hand, and then you're back on the
rhythm lane there,
the first rhythm lane after that starting line here, and that's a lap here in Levi Stadium. And, you know, I got to say, this stadium here, state-of-the-art, beautiful facility.
Absolutely. It's beautiful weather. We've got a big crowd already. Everybody's coming by the Race Day Live set. The track's awesome. We've got a really, really long start. It's going to be cool watching these guys barrel down into the first corner tonight. So it's going to be good.
What do you think? You think Andrew Short maybe can get his 5th in a row, hole shot, and we got to pay him another $1,500 from supercrosslive.com? Or, you know, it just seems like when you get those long straightaways, that's really where you see that horsepower really shine on those new KTMs. And, you know, I mean, it's just phenomenal, the starts that Andrew Short's been getting this year.
Exactly, Jim. You know, the shorter starts he's been phenomenal on. So now that we have double the start lengths, I don't know. He might just have a huge hole shot. But
you see a fan behind us there. He went over to the merchandise trailer and he got him a nice T-shirt there. And it's such a beautiful day here. He took it off and he's in the back with his T-shirt. Happy fan to get a nice souvenir T-shirt.
Awesome. Stoked to have all the fans here today. But we were just talking about starts a lot, and we actually had Adam Intignap come and help us out. There's a lot to getting the hole shot, and most of it is about technique. You know, where to line up on the bike, where to have your body positioning. You know, when Adam Intignap got with us and helped us do that down there in the gate, it was a really cool piece.
And especially for a guy like Adam Intignap, because he's such a big guy, he has a lot of weight on that motorcycle as opposed to a Blake Baggett. Different techniques for a big guy versus a smaller guy.
Yeah. You know, we talked about the hole shot device, and here we go, yeah. Great technique for a starter.
You notice that's kind of waiting. As soon as that sign goes sideways, you'll see him shift. The elbows come up. His head's over that handlebar, and he's just focused on one thing, looking down at that gate, watching that pin. As soon as that pin moves, he's going to hammer the throttle down, and he's got to keep the throttle, you know, wide open, but feather that clutch because he's such a big guy. And there he's off there, nice and straight there, and that's the way you want to do it. He starts with both feet on the ground, and the reason why he does that is because of the fact that he wants to take that weight off of that motorcycle. Where a guy like Blake Baggett, sometimes you'll see guys start with their right foot down, left foot on the foot peg, so as soon as they get out, they can bang third gear and head out. But that's not for Adam Intignap style. No way. He's too big to do that.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's got a lot of traction, but
notice his elbows are up, but look at his front finger on that front brake, just in case it creeps forward. You don't want to get in the gate, and then you got the 2 fingers on that left hand on the clutch side, so when he comes out, he feathers it. Notice the head position and down. He's just looking straight down that gate. As soon as he comes over that gate.
Watching that pin, baby.
There he goes, and now that head's going to pop up, and he's sighting where he wants to go into that first turn. Another key thing that you see on the starting gates is all the sponsorship, you know, Monster and Thor and everything, that's plastic. So as soon as you come out of that gate, sometimes that thing will light up, you know, and the revs go up. You got to be aware of that, because if you've already transferred your weight back and you hit that dirt, you could possibly loop out. But, you know, it's an art to get in a hole shot.
It sure is, and that's one of the key points of the race. You know, Jeff Emming says it every week. And here's another illustration with both feet down, and his feet are
in front of the foot peg.
That's
right. Key. You want to make sure, you know, some guys like it, you know, behind, but the majority of them, they like their feet in front of those foot pegs like you see right here. And you just got the toes down. You don't have you're not sitting flat-footed. Adam could sit flat-footed. He's that big, but like I said, he just wants the toes up to get that weight off of that rear seat.
That's how you do it right there. You know, there's a technique with 1 foot up. I know when I was on mini bikes, you know, because I wanted to shift right out of the gate, I kept my shifter foot up on the peg. It's just a personal preference, right?
Well, and depending on the dirt, if you have a lot of traction like we have here, then you're going to have both feet down, because if you got a hard dry track and that bike is wheel spinning off of there, maybe you can keep that left foot on the shifter, and when you come out of it, you can bang third gear right out of that. But Andrew Short doesn't bang third gear. He just starts in third gear. That's why he's been getting all those hole shots.
Tons of hole shots, heat races, main events, you name it. The 29's been at the front. But we have a great track here today. The dirt's a little bit of an obstacle. It has some rocks in it, so getting a good start is going to be paramount, because you don't want to be back there getting baseballs thrown at you coming down the front straightaway.
No, and it'll be interesting to see as the practices go on to see if they got hand guards, because that was the biggest thing when I was riding. You know, rock come up and hit you in the knuckles, man. You can bust your knuckles real easy. I mean, even though the gloves have some sort of padding there, but you know, it's we're getting a chance to see some of them. That's Adam's dad right there. He's a big boy too. Now you know where Adam.
I see the resemblance.
I wish we had a camera we could pan over to his dad, but he's got to be 6'5". But you know, getting back to that with the rocks. So some of the guys will put rock guards on there, and then you know the other thing too that presents a problem that a lot of guys don't know is you get your toes. Your toes are on the foot peg. They're pointed down. The roost comes off. You get a rock on that big toe. You need to go back and you need to get a paper clip and you need to heat it up and burn through the nail to relieve that pressure. You can't ride. It's just so painful. I've done that a few times.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Well, I tell you what isn't terrible is this weather here in Santa Clara, California. This stadium is immaculate. This is the 59th venue that the Supercross Series has visited throughout its history. And this is the second new venue we've had this year. Earlier we visited Petco Park.
Yep.
And now we're here in Levi Stadium, and it's just a great vibe. We were down there on the track earlier. We spoke with some riders to see what they're thinking about tonight's action. Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here with Matt Bisceglia from Geico Honda. Man, you've been getting good starts all year, just haven't had the luck yet.
Yeah, no, I've been getting good starts all year, just making little mistakes here and there. I was, talking with my trainer this morning. It kind of sucks. I've been in a podium position in 3 or 4 races now and missed a couple of them due to a crash. But like I said, just making mistakes. I've been riding well all year. I just have to put a whole 15 laps together and I'll be good. But no, I'm excited for tonight, this new venue. It's an awesome stadium, so we'll see what happens.
Well, you rode the East Coast last year, the West Coast this year. Do you have a preference? Did one or the other that you prefer?
No preference really. They have the pros and cons to each of them. West Coast, it's definitely close to where we stay in California, but you have to worry about weather at most of the races. East Coast is more traveling, but they're all in domes. I don't really have a preference, they're all Supercross tracks. It's all dirt bike racing.
We're pretty deep here on the West Coast. About 1 or 2 tenths separates first through 10th with you guys. It's been tough this year.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been tough. The competition on this West Coast is it's really gnarly. So just being one of those top guys is cool. So just got to go out, get some more good starts, and prove that I belong up there like I know I do.
How about that East-West shootout May 2nd in Las Vegas? You looking forward to that?
Yeah, I definitely am. Having the fast guys from the East come over here and race us, it's going to be cool. It's going to be a good shootout for sure this year.
Well, one more round the 250 West. Good luck, Matt.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here at Discount Tire, 22 Motorsports. Josh Grant, man, you're killing it lately. We found some new speed.
Yeah, no, I've been feeling pretty good. The last couple of weeks have been kind of clicking off, so just excited about riding a full season healthy, and it's been probably about 5-6 years since I've been able to do that. So just kind of a personal goal for me, and to really achieve that was pretty big, especially leading into outdoors. I'm pretty excited to have a healthy year.
It was a good run at the front of the pack last weekend. Did you get a good sense of the speed up there, and you got some you can carry into tonight here in Santa Clara?
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely was able to kind of get in the mix a little bit more. Last week getting a good start and kind of being up with Ryan and Eli and all the guys. So it definitely kind of shocked me a little bit. Kind of rode a little tense and just got to work on those kind of areas. But I'm glad to get that knowledge, move on to the next race, and hopefully this weekend we can kind of repeat that performance.
3 to go. Can you get on that podium?
I'm working on it. That was my goal at the beginning of the year, was to at least try to get on the podium. We just fell short last week, so I feel like we're going in the right direction, and as long as we can get good starts, we're up there.
Well, cool. Good luck, Josh.
Thanks.
Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here with Yoshimura Suzuki's Blake Baggett. We're at round 15, man. You've had a good, solid rookie season. 3 rounds to go. What are your goals?
The goal just to be to get back in the top 5. I had a few not so good weekends, just mistakes on my part, and then just got caught in some carnage. So just going to try to keep it clean tonight and try to get back in the top 5 and shoot for the podium if you have the opportunity. But just stay healthy and try to get in the top 5.
You've been really successful. You had your podium in Daytona, got a whole shot in Anaheim and led some laps. What's the key to getting on that podium again? The class is still deep, even late in the season.
Yeah, definitely. It's just all about getting clean track right away. So if I get a whole shot, that'd be awesome. It just makes life a lot easier, and try to get a good start. So that's the key to it. Got a long start tonight. Definitely gonna have to go up into 3rd gear and then sweep around, and then the first rhythm lane, you're not gonna have much run coming into it. So probably the rhythm lane is gonna be a different option than when you come around for the first lap.
How's your bike? We're at round 15. I know you guys still test all season long. Has it gotten better for you?
Yeah, definitely. We keep making changes, and since we went and did some outdoor stuff, we learned a little bit on the outdoors of what I liked and applied that to the Supercross bike. So still making changes and just trying to get comfortable.
Yeah, some of your fans on social media, I know I saw you testing wheels out there the other day. Are your wrists and ankles okay?
Yeah, good. We're getting excited for the outdoors, but yeah, just decided to jump that jump and just work on Supercross now.
Well, good luck tonight here in Levi Stadium.
Thanks.
And it was fun to talk to Blake Baggett there. He's having a phenomenal rookie season. All the rookies have been strong this year.
Well, I think the key, for the rookies is to make sure they finish all 17 rounds, because like you said, once you have, a rookie come into this, it's a whole different ball game trying to run 17 rounds there. And with Blake Baggett there, he's right in a position. And, hey, I think Suzuki, I've talked to Mike Webb and all the guys over there, and Don and everybody, and they're happy with him.
Right,
they're happy.
I was surprised.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's got a chance right now to, I know he really wants another podium, but you heard him. He was realistic.
Top 5.
Top 5. I've had some bad races. We got to get in that top 5 first.
Yeah, I think Blake can do it. I think he overachieved this year. I wasn't sure what his Supercross skills would be on a 450, and he's been solid. Cole Seeley's also been solid, and Jason Anderson. You know, it's too bad that Dean Wilson got hurt earlier in the season because he was really going to bring a lot.
Got some more fans back there.
That's good. That's good. Man, you know, they're already getting pumped up about next week.
Yeah.
I know I am. We're going to go to East Rutherford, New Jersey. We're going to be.
I can't wait. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that one because, I mean, you look at that, and we're going to make history there. That's going to be the first time that it's on live Fox, and that's the Fox Broadcasting Network. It's going to be on 3 p.m. on that East Coast and 12 out west here. And, you know, don't forget about, you know, if you're not doing nothing, you're in New York, come down on the 23rd, Thursday, to Grand Central Station at 12 noon, and that's where we're going to have our press conference. I mean, who've ever heard of Grand Central Station? The motorcycles in there. Wonder if one of the guys, lucky I'm not riding anymore, because I'd fire the bike up and ride it in Grand Central Station. But
it's going to be awesome, man. You know, just to think we're on the same network and the same channel where the NFL plays and some of the biggest things in television, period. Next weekend and Saturday is going to be Supercross. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, and don't forget, like we said, it's Fox. It's not Fox 1 and it's not Fox 2. This is the Fox Broadcasting Network.
Yep.
This is the real deal. Supercross live at 3 p.m. on that East Coast in East Rutherford, New Jersey, April 25th.
Going to be awesome. And here we are on track in Levi Stadium here, 250B qualifying. Looks like number 284 out there. That's Church. And I tell you what, this rhythm section right here, when he makes this left, there's 8 jumps, and they're going 2, 3, 3 on the 450s and the 250A guys, but it's tough.
Well, and it's going to be hard as the day wears on. You know, it's going to dry out. Right now, they got a little bit of moisture in there to work with, but the key is if you're working with somebody, you got to tell, hey, look, this is just practice. It's time practice, but, you know, don't go out and do nothing that you don't feel comfortable with, you know, and the track's going to come in later on in the night. If you did it right now and you know that you got a chance to do it, just keep that in your bag because later on in the day it might be hard dry. You go to do it, you hit it,
different
wheel spin, and
go
then
down.
You come up short, and now you hurt your wrists, your ankles, and it's just crazy. But they're making their way around here. It looks good out there right now, anyhow.
There's our fastest rider so far. I believe that is number 164, Ulrich. He was fast last weekend, Ulrich was, in the 250B group qualifying.
Yeah, and same with Church. You know, Church was up there last week, you know, Bannister's up there in 4th. And, you know, these guys are, you know, they're used to being up there. They know that, hey, this is where I belong.
Scratching to get into that main event. You know, it's the last one for these guys. We still have the East-West shootout, but as far as the 250 West is concerned, this is the final round.
Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, you know, these guys here, you look at that, you know, once this is over, then it's, hey, we got to regroup. We got to restock the truck. We got to get new tires, new gearing, because it's outdoors after this.
Right. Been a good series. 250, you know, Cooper Webb dominated, but look at all the stories we've had this year. Cooper and Tyler, Shane McElrath and Josh Hansen.
Well, and one of those guys you mentioned, Shane McElrath, something interesting. He's going to get a chance to ride Dean Wilson's factory Red Bull KTM next weekend in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And that's pretty cool. You know, as a rider, he's had a couple seconds these past 2 weekends. His confidence is up, you know, so he's being rewarded from that. But Roger DeCosta saying, hey, went over to the Troy Lee guys to Tyler there and says, hey, why don't we have Shane ride that thing in East Rutherford, New Jersey? I want to see what he can do on a 450. And that'll be cool to see him next weekend.
He'll be fast.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he'll be really fast. You know, he's been good, consistent all year long. Back-to-back runner-up finishes. You know, he thought he had a chance at Webb last weekend. He beat him a couple laps. When Webb got into second place, he washed his pit board, and he had a couple laps that were faster than Cooper, but then he cased that quad, and he said he just kind of lost his flow, and that was it.
Well, and that's the thing about it. If you're a rider, you know, Cooper Webb, just phenomenal this year. His corner speed and things like that. You're not going to hang with that guy. You might hang with him for a couple laps and learn from him a little bit, but don't override your head and crash, and then you're not finishing. You know, hey, second's not bad. You know, that's a great finish. So, you know, there's little Sean Yarborough right there. He's just,
I was actually with his mom on Track Walk. They have a charity event they're doing. They had a helmet that they were signing and stuff. It was actually Yarborough's first race last weekend in Houston. So, good luck to them.
Yeah, it's great to see. You know, it's a family of sport. I mean, you know, you look down at it last weekend when those 2 champions were crowned on that West Coast. You know, Cooper Webb, his mom and dad right there. You look at Ryan Dungey clinching his second 450 championship. His mom and dad right there, and his wife. You know, just a big support group here. It's a little bit different than other sports. A lot of family involvement.
Absolutely. There's Trevor Rice. He is third quickest so far.
Yeah, not bad. A 56.5 for him, you know, but that up top there, now how would you pronounce that? Janolfe?
Gilderda.
54.6. So
Yeah.
clearly, I mean, he's got the speed to get that bike into the main event tonight.
Absolutely, that's a good lap time right there. Number 275, Johnny Gilderda. So he's out of Menifee, California. You know, looking at the top 5 in the untimed qualifying, actually they do time it. We get to see it. Zach Osborne was the fastest guy earlier. You know, Zach, and then Malcolm, and then third place Alex Martin. Surprising.
Yeah. Well, Alex, you know, we've talked about it before. When you come back to a place, the Northern California, Alex Martin, early in the season when we were in Oakland, he got his first podium of his career there, so he's looking for another podium. And then on the flip side of that 450, there was another Husky, Jason Anderson, followed by Tomac, and then right behind those guys, it was a KTM with Justin Brayton in that free practice.
Yeah, showing some speed. You know, seeing some different guys on top of that pylon. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank all of our international guests. Stay tuned. Ken Roczen's going to join us here in just a second. I'm really excited to talk to Ken, man. You know, people forget he's world champion. Before he came over here and started winning championships,
and he's an outdoor champion last year too.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's won a lot of championships, and he's a good kid. He just, made that one bad mistake, I think, in Oakland. We'll have to call him, because after that he came back down to Anaheim. He missed the podium. Tomac nipped him there. San Diego, he finished second. You're thinking, okay, maybe he goes to Arlington, has that bad crash in Arlington, doesn't really fare that well there. And then in Atlanta, he just, it was just too much. When you ride with injury, we'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's just going to be fun to talk. He's a fun guy. You know, I liked his opening ceremonies clips that were awesome, and I like his following him on Instagram. He's always doing something funny. Good sense of humor, you know, but...
You know, and he enjoys, living over here. I mean, I saw some stuff on Instagram. He was in, Utah, at Moab and stuff, just kind of sightseeing around, taking in some of the sights.
We're watching number 243 here. That's Joey Dalzell getting around the track. That's my old friend Billy Ersich's old number. Bad Billy, 243.
Remember Billy Ersich?
Yeah.
From old Racer X days?
My old friend there. And the top 5 here with a little over 2 minutes to go. Johnny Gilderda is out front, followed by Ulrich, Trevor Rice, Church, and Semino, rounding out your top 5. There's going to be some of those names we're going to see in the main event tonight, I think, Jim.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's 46 guys here entered in. Something interesting, on press day here, Vicky Golden was here. She's not riding, but she at least got a chance to get some time on a Supercross track before we see her next weekend. She's got next weekend in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That's where it is, and we'll have to see.
Absolutely, Jim. And we want to remind all you viewers, tweet us in a question. Tweet us in a question about Ken Roczen or any of the guests we have today. Troy Lee, Malcolm Stewart. If you guys are watching at home, we know you are, go ahead and fire up the old Twitter account and send us some questions, and we'll roll it out here for you on Race Day Live. Hashtag RDL. Hashtag Ask RDL. Yeah.
Yeah, and for you guys that love oils and stuff, don't forget about Lynn Groom. I'd like to hear some questions that come in for him.
Yeah.
He's a very intelligent man.
Yeah, he went over my head pretty quickly last time we talked to him in Phoenix, talking about how he formulated those synthetic oils and different viscosities and how they test them and heat test them, and smart cat.
Yeah, that track's holding up nice, Andy.
Looks good.
It's going to be fine today, I think, and during that intermission, you're just seeing a little bit of lightness on the top of the jump, because that's where they water. It comes down. It's a little bit darker
Brought the
in
rocks
between
up,
in the
right.
transition there and stuff. Good old Zake Oswald right there. He's not doing too bad today. Sitting in about 9th position with a 58.9, so he's coming up.
Getting around the track pretty well there. Probably on a heater there, trying to put in a fast lap. Time's about run out. We've got 1 minute to go here at 250B qualifying number 1. I believe we're going to have the fast guys up next.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
These guys are fast, though. These guys are really fast. It's funny, I catch myself saying that. I'm like, okay, if you were out there on the track, Andy, that guy would be lapping you in about 4 laps.
Right.
So it's just relative,
these guys are just phenomenal athletes.
Yeah.
Anybody out here competing, it doesn't matter if you have a 2-digit, a single-digit, a 3-digit number. Anybody who has signed up here out of the 46 that are here in the 250 and the 40 and that 450,
they're fast.
All those guys are fast guys.
Yeah, if they're sending that triple, that's a big triple we have here tonight, Jeff.
Yeah, that one, you know, we've seen it in the past. Andy, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe during track maintenance for the feld track crew that maybe we might see a little bit laid down to get them a little bit more distance instead of the height. You want to bet on it? Maybe a buck or something? They're going to change that, or you think they'll keep it?
I'll bet a buck on it.
Right,
I bet you it stays the same.
Think so? Yeah.
How about 20 push-ups?
No, not today. Not today. Not today for me.
Well, folks, we want to remind everybody watching today, it is Jim Hollywood Holly's birthday.
Yes,
so,
it is.
Big happy birthday
old.
to my friend here.
Yeah, I went out last night. Got a little bit of food poisoning, so if I don't look quite
hey, I wasn't going to tell him.
Yeah, well, I'll tell him. I mean, you know.
My man here's hurt.
I feel bad. You did the Dungey interview. You did the track walk pieces. I was in the Asterix Mobile Medical Unit with some IVs just to try and get me ready for the show. But
my buddy here's pulling through, though. Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do this than to do it out on the track.
Right.
And a lot of these guys do it. They get food poisoning. I remember last year Ryan Villapoto in Toronto got it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I wouldn't want to be riding a motorcycle in this condition, but working alongside you, I think I can handle it.
Glad you're here, brother. I don't know what I would do without you, man. Glad you're here. So there's our top 5 there on our screen. Stay tuned, folks. We're going to have Ken Roczen joining us here on Race Day Live. Here's a word from our sponsors. And welcome back to the show. And joining us now is Ken Roczen, man.
How
welcome
you guys
to Race
doing?
Day Live.
Yep, good to see you.
Kenny, good to see you. Glad you're riding again.
Thank you.
That's the key.
It feels good. Trust me. After only 3 weeks or something, I feel like I've been off for forever, but it feels good.
You took a little time off. I saw some of your Instagram and tweets and things like that. You were in Utah and stuff. Just kind of, and that's what I like about you, man. You come to the United States, you want to see different things.
Yeah, right after the injury, I took a lot of time to do some physical therapy stuff and got some laser on her because I want to be back as soon as possible, you know, obviously. And it was definitely, I've never really had to deal with ankles or anything. It was always just arms and stuff, especially not ligaments. So definitely takes a lot longer than I thought. But it is what it is. You know, I went to Utah and did a lot of mountain biking there. I'm in great shape right now, so I'm keeping everything up, and I can't wait to be behind the gate again.
Well, you look like you're in great spirits, man, and you came out guns a-blazing to start the series, winning first, 2 of the first 3. Everything was going awesome until Oakland, so it's good to see you bounce back, but it had to hurt, you know, to start to taste that championship so early in the season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know there was a lot of talk about, you know, Roczen's got the championship already, and I was always like,
not yet.
Dude, it's such a long season.
Don't curse this thing.
Exactly. As you can see, anything can happen. Started off great, and obviously in Oakland, people make mistakes. It is what it is, you know, and I'm just human, you know, so did that mistake, and it kind of like from there, it was never the same again. I tried to get back in it, and obviously then there was Atlanta that was just a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't endo in that one, and then hitting the wall, that's what initially hurt my ankle. And from then on, obviously, it was just never the same again. I caught my foot a couple of times again, and it was just, if I would have kept riding and I would have kept dabbing it, it would have just not gotten better. And I don't just want to ride around, you know. I want to be able to be 100% and you know, ride in front of the pack.
Let me ask you this: Oakland, there, you go under. It's a left-hander before that triple. You get underneath Chad, you come out of it. And once you came out of it, you realize, man, I don't have enough speed to do this thing.
Yeah, I was battling with Reedy, and I decided to get on the inside of him, and from them using the skiddy, it kind of took some of that soft, loamy dirt, and it just made it look flat. So I kind of got a little bit off balance, actually, and fell to the right a little bit, but I pinned it, and then I noticed that, you know, the bike wasn't going that much. You know, it just wasn't enough, but...
You were committed already.
I was committed, and it was just too deep of the dirt was just too deep, and it took me a lot of speed, and you know, for people, it's easy to say they're sitting on the couch, dude, what did you do? But I was in race mode, and I'm trying to win, you know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
I just, I did a mistake, and yeah, it was just not smart, but it is what it is.
That's the hard thing, you know, about that. You know, a lot of the people think that, you know, you're a machine or whatever. You're human. We make mistakes. Things like this happen.
Absolutely,
it's, you know, you have to deal with it. And it's those guys on the thing that are questioning that have never even hit a triple jump. That's what annoys me. That's why I'm not on that all the time, because, hey, until you've done it, just keep your mouth shut. That's my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, you know, they're the people, but that makes me appreciate the good people so much more, and the fans that stick behind you and stuff, and friends and family, you know, they know what it's all about. And but let me tell you, it's great to be back at a race finally. It's been a long time, but you know, obviously I would love to be out there riding, but you know, I'm out here still. I'm part of all this and get to see the fans and everybody. So it's good to hang out with the team and help them out a little bit.
You know, I think that's an honorable thing you're doing. You know, a lot of guys, sometimes they don't come, and you know, it's the fans that really make the paychecks and things like that.
Right.
If we didn't have the fans, we wouldn't have a job. And me and Andy really love our job, you know,
Yeah, we
broadcasting
like doing
and
this.
stuff.
So thank you for coming, Ken.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, you know, during race day, it's always a different story. We got a lot of things to do. We have practice, really short breaks. So I feel like, or I hope that the fans don't always get the impression like we're cocky or something, which gives me the time right now to actually be out here, appreciate everyone, and talk to them. You know, I love answering people's questions and just love being there for them, because I remember when I was a little guy and came up to my idol basically and say what's up to them. So I'm here for that and hope to make everybody happy.
Who were your idols growing up? You know, who did you look up to the most?
You know, the first one was definitely Stefan Everts, obviously from the GPs, and that's where I always wanted to be, and he was the main guy. And obviously Ricky, when I came over for the Minios, my parents and my team back then, they did a surprise for me, and we ended up on his farm, and so that was a cool thing to do. So Ricky was one of them, and you know, I really like Chad. He always had the sickest style, and Jeremy McGrath. You know, there were a bunch of people that I really looked up to. Yeah.
Well, let's stay on that path a little bit there. You know, you're a world champion, and now Ryan Villaputo's over there trying to win one for himself. What's he going through? It's pretty tough over there.
Yes, it's definitely tough. You know, it's not an easy thing to switch to a different continent, and the racing is different, the tracks are different, and I think that's what he's seeing. You know, obviously, RV is a badass, so. It's still tough, though. You know, it doesn't matter who comes over. It's even when the Europeans come over sometimes, and they're like, "Oh, they're not winning. See, they're slower." But it's not always like that. You know, it's tough, and I think RV notices that right now, that it's super different, especially coming from Europe to the U.S. and riding Supercross. We don't really have that over there, so you kind of like have to relearn the whole racing deal and new tracks and everything. But you know, it's I'm pumped for him, though. I think it's a cool experience. You go to Argentina, Brazil, Thailand, all those different things. It's kind of cool to see the world, you know.
Awesome.
Did he ever call you or anything and ask you any questions or anything about that?
I actually haven't talked to him for quite a while. I would love to, but you know, he has his hands full. I have my hands full, and you know, we're around our people. But I definitely would like to talk to him. You know, see what he feels and stuff. But I'm pretty sure I'll get a chance to sometime soon.
Well, talk about some people that you're with this year. You had a brand new team change, you know, the Soaring Eagle, Jimmy John's RCH organization. You know, you got Carey and Ricky and Watson. Are you having fun with those guys this year?
Oh, it's been a blast. You know, I have great people behind me, and especially working with Ricky. It's awesome to be on the track with him, and it hasn't been that long since he's off racing, and he's still riding, so he knows the whole deal. And you know, obviously we started off really good. You know, there were some mistakes on my part that just happened. I think sometimes people get a little bit of the wrong picture of everything, but dude, I've been super happy. We have done some outdoor testing right now, and we've made a huge step the other day, which is great, because I didn't really have a lot of experience with the Air Forks, and it's just I've been riding on the other team for quite a few years, so it was definitely a big change. But we have made some great changes or even better changes, and the testing is still full on going, so we still have a few weeks till outdoors, but we'll make sure we're ready.
Something else, I noticed you took your mechanic, Kelly, over to the factory Suzuki team, the Soaring Eagle Jimmy John Suzuki ride. How important is that? I mean, for the people that are listening to this, you know, you always hear a lot of guys when they change teams, they bring their mechanic.
Yeah, it always depends how you're fitting together with the guy, you know, and I thought we were really a good fit, because he has been with me for quite a while now, and we've been working together for so long, and he has your experience from Europe, so we're just a good fit, and that was my ultimate deal, you know. Just take him over. He knows what I like, and he's just worked with me for quite a long time, which that just helps out that much more.
Got some qualifying going on here. Check out, those guys are out there. What do you think of the track here? What are some of these guys going through in this first qualifying time practice in this C group?
You know, the funny thing is with Supercross, it is that much gnarlier to learn the tracks. You know, obviously the tracks are always different. Coming into outdoors, you have the same track you remember from last year, and everything's a little bit more mellow. You know, when you get on the Supercross track here, everything is steep. Everything brand new. You got some ruts to deal with, and
it's just
it doesn't forgive you anything. You know, you come up short a little bit, could be it. So it's really important to go out there right away from free practice, and just, even though you're not like trying to crush it from the beginning on, but you gotta have good focus. That's the ultimate thing from the first practice on.
But how much for these guys that are getting out here and watching that C250 group, and the A guys are getting ready to come out now, but the track changes from that free practice to the first time practice, then you have a little intermission, then you have your final time practice. So that track changes a lot.
Oh, track changes a lot, and honestly, what I've learned over the last few years is I never stress about first practice or something, because once the main event starts, they have worked on the track. Everything is kind of rounder, a little bit more ridden and stuff. And in my eyes, the track for the races get a lot easier. So before, like especially my first time riding Supercross, I was stressing because I wanted to be good and like everything was kind of gnarly and peaked up.
Yeah.
I just ride first practice, get to know the track, feel good, don't worry about lap times. And if I'm somewhat up on the board in the qualifying practices, I'm happy to get a good spot for the races. But yeah, once you get to the races, I feel like personally, the tracks are a lot easier to ride and just remember it that much better. But heads off to the C teams, I mean, it's hard for us pros to go out there and do what we do, and it's definitely gnarly. So it's great to see people like that to try themselves and it's not easy. Let me tell you that.
Definitely hard. Kenny, I wanted to ask you have a lot of people over there, and I hooked you up with Hitoshi Toriya from Japan, and he had his work cut out for him, I remember, after that Oakland incident.
Oh, definitely. He was over at my house and helped me out a bunch. In general, you can tell a big difference, or I can tell a big difference once some physio person, puts a hand on me if it's good or not. So he's definitely unique, and that in a good way. Great to have it's really important to have a good chiropractor / massage dude, on your side, and that helps you out a lot. You got to keep your body up to be able to claim championships or do good out there. Ultimate deal.
And checkered flags out here in 250C qualifying number 1. It's going to be Schreier there. Number 397 was her fastest with a 56.8.
Look at Gills there with that 57.4, putting in a good Berger there in that 4th position. These guys are going to have a little bit of time to go back and kind of make some adjustments, maybe get a little water in them, something to eat. They're going to go out here. I guarantee you, all these C guys, and Kenny, from past experience, these C and B guys, as soon as they're done, they really don't go back. They want to watch that A group.
Yeah, that's another thing. You don't have a lot of time in between all the practices because, as a C and B, even as an A rider, it's important to watch people in the other class to see what they do different, and helps out a lot, to get the track in a lot better. And so they're probably going straight to the stands and watch the big boys.
I noticed when you were riding 250, you did that a lot. You would, get done with your practice and immediately you'd go up into the stands and watch the 450A guys. Was that more or less to kind of sizing up the competition? Hey, I'm going to be moving into this class eventually, or could you take some of that technique and apply it to the 250 class?
Well, me coming in as a rookie on a 250, or basically I'm not in the big boy class yet, so it is very important to just come and watch them, and because they're basically better than you still, so it's good to watch and learn. And now being in the 450 class, we would we'll just go straight back to the semi and watch a bunch of videos what the team filmed, and compare yourself with other people, see what they do different and kind of line choice they do. So but as a 250 guy, I definitely recommend to go straight up into the stands and watch the other riders.
Perfect.
That's awesome, folks. And thank you for tuning in. Want to thank all of our international viewers. We got this guy used to be in Germany, but he's here now. But stay tuned. He's going to stay with us when we're watching 250A qualifying coming up next. But for now, here's a word from our sponsors.
I'm Andrew Short with BTO Sports KTM. You're watching Race Day Live.
And we're back here at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. There's Zach Osborne and the rest of the 250A qualifying number 1.
Yeah, Zach Osborne had that, in that free practice, he had fast time.
He was the fastest.
He's chomping at the bit. He wants to win one of these things, but the other thing is he's second in the points right now, and I believe it's 13 points
Shane
behind.
McGrath is right there.
Right, and, as long as he finishes ahead of him, he'll be good. But there's a lot of different bonuses from second to third in the points, so this is going to be something to watch today.
What'd you think about this group, Ken? The 250 West was pretty deep this year. Cooper dominated, but behind him, there's just a whole slew of guys that were about the same speed, it seemed like.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of fast people in there, and it's good to see people coming up and doing good right away. You know, I mean, I know how it is as a rookie to come up and, you know, ride those tracks. I mean, obviously the Americans usually have a little bit more of experience with Supercross tracks and stuff like that, but you know, that doesn't necessarily make it easy. You know, it'll be interesting to see what this group is compared to the other group. You know, it'd be kind of cool to see, you know, the differences.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. You know, a couple years ago when you won that title there, you had a problem in, I believe it was Salt Lake City. Didn't make that main event there, and then you had the chance to come to Vegas, but we don't have that this year. It's just an East-West shootout. What are your thoughts?
That's kind of funny because I didn't even know that until like a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh really? The last one doesn't even count anymore, you know?
No, but just an East-West shootout.
Yeah, it makes the series a little bit shorter. You know, I obviously did a mistake that one year and didn't qualify in Salt Lake, and but those are just things you learn from, you know. But
a little stress going on that night, man. First championship.
Yeah, it was, and it's good that we still won it because otherwise I would have would have been a little bit different. But yeah, no, it's never easy. Let me tell you that.
I'll put you on the spot. Marvin or Cooper? What do you think?
You know, I think the Marvin is you know, at his high right now. He has to, you know, he has been a few years in this class, and he was always winning races. So it's good for him. I actually think Martin, you know, he's on basically the same level as Marvin in my eyes. Jeremy Martin, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Personally, I know Cooper is going awesome right now too. It's gonna be a good battle. You know, I would actually not know who to pick right now.
Well, there's Aaron Plessinger on our screen right now. He's a rookie that's come up from the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. Done very well as a rookie, and of course Malcolm here. I don't know if you watched last week, and I'm sure you did, but you know Malcolm had a tough night. Had some crashes, and actually 2 spectacular crashes, but then still made the podium after getting a bad start. So
yeah, that was a very unique thing. You know, he kind of like jumped in the back of Zach Osborne, and you know, a couple of seconds later you see Osborne going down because of Malcolm's bike. So but it's good for Malcolm to come back after a few crashes and still get on that podium. You know, it's always a good feeling.
You mentioned Aaron Plessinger. You know, like you said, this is the last one here in Levi Stadium, but he wants to get up on the podium. You know, you had a chance to talk to him last week, and he was saying, you know, these last couple rounds, I definitely want to get up onto that podium again.
And so far, with 5 minutes to go here in 250A qualifying number 1, it is Malcolm Stewart, the fastest with a 52.5, followed by Aaron Plessinger. That's kind of surprising there. Good lap for him. 52.9, followed by Cooper Webb, Matt Bisceglia, and Zach Osborne rounding out the top 5.
Well, behind them, you got Hill and Hansen and Martinez there. And, you know, Josh Hill, that's another guy. You know, he hasn't won one this year. Justin, Josh doing something else, relaxing. But, you know, I look for Justin Hill.
I was surprised at Justin.
Possibly.
I really thought he was going to take this championship this year coming into the season. And just, it seemed like he had the speed, but the starts weren't coming together. Maybe, Ken, you can elaborate on that. You know, when you have the speed and it just doesn't work, what's going on there?
Yeah, not really sure what's going on. Obviously, he was doing really good at Monster Cup, but that's a different thing. You know, you're on a, you know, I don't know if he likes the 450 more or not, but that's I would say a race that doesn't really count into a championship. So his mindset might have just been that much different, you know. And obviously, when people saw him riding there coming into this season, they might have thought, oh, what's going on there? But not really sure. I know I've heard he's had something with an injury too, so I don't really know how much he's been off the bike. But I'm personally, for example, I like racing better than I like practices. So could be the same for him. Like, I wouldn't stress if I was him, you know, being in 7th place. There's a lot of damage you can do in the main event or in the heat race.
That's right.
Are you one of those guys that, you know, we've had a lot of the top riders on, and that, you know, when you're out there, you look at the leaderboard. If you don't see your number up on the leaderboard, are you bummed out, or are you one of those guys saying, nah, it's just time practice. I'm a racer. It's just
I'm one of the guys that says it's just time practice. When I'm you know, I've won time practices before where I've kind of like surprised myself because I'm not really the kind of guy for putting one lap down, or I never used to be. I guess I'm all right now, but I'm just a racer, you know. I like doing the start, and it's different to past people. So, and I always love the racing part about it.
You're pretty good at practice too. I saw some footage of you in the hills this winter, and you look like you're having a good time out there.
Yeah, that's important for me. When I have fun, I do good. So I had a lot of fun going into the hills, and I think it's good for skills.
Josh Hansen coming in, talking to his mechanic there, going to make maybe a shock change.
Not sure what happened there. He kind of looked like he was sitting a little weird on the bike. Not sure if he
maybe tweaked his
tweaked
back or something, maybe.
Who knows?
Well, hey guys, I think there's Cooper Webb, but for a moment, Justin Hill jumped up to the top. Things are shaking up here. So Cooper Webb is at the point right now with a 52 flat. 2/10 behind him is Justin Hill, then Malcolm Stewart, Aaron Plessinger, and Alex Martin, rounding out your top 5.
See, that's how quick it can change, you know.
Yeah.
Justin Hill was just in 7th, we're talking about, but you know, up into actually 3rd right now, but still good. Malcolm with a good lap, actually half a second quicker than Webb. That's pretty big in a Supercross track,
yeah,
you know.
It's huge.
Half a second.
51.9 was Osborne's, or actually 51.9 was Jason Anderson's fastest time in the first 450 untimed practice. So that 51.5 there is flat getting after it.
You know, if you look at Shane McElrath, though, you know, he's sitting back down a little bit. I mean, although he's came up a little bit.
4th now, yeah.
4th now. But Kenny, he's getting a chance next week in East Rutherford, New Jersey. He's going to ride a 450 there. And you dabbled a little bit when you were riding 250. You rode a 450. Does that help you guys out for the next year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's great. You know, if you're not necessarily in the championship hunt and you're kind of like, you know, sniffing into things, and I think it's definitely a good decision to be able to, you know, hop on a 450 and get a feel for that. Not sure when he's planning on riding 450, but that's what I did in 2011. I was riding the West Coast Supercross Lights Championship, and I hopped, even though it was just my first year, but I hopped on a 350 back then, and I did a couple of races in the big bike class, and it's definitely good to get the first jitters out of the way and just get a feel for it.
Well, and you had some podiums.
You did Daytona, I think.
Daytona,
You
you had
really
a podium.
well, yeah.
I had a few good races, a few good heat races too. You know, which is big. It's a good thing for a rookie or for a 250 guy to be able to go there, even in a heat race. You know, show yourself and get up there.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Seattle, you finished up 2nd there to Andrew Short that one year.
That's the one race, you know, where me and Shorter were great buddies. So I was happy for him that he won, but it could have been my first win. But man, 2nd place. That was my first podium there, which was great.
Austin Politelli there. You know, he won that heat race last week, but here's our first Twitter question. Ken, do you think you'll be 100% at the beginning of this motocross season, or do you have to race yourself into shape?
You know what? I think he has been in Canada last year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what he's going to do this year, but you know, racing is always good for training, for practice. But you know, if you want to do something in the championship, you got to be good from the beginning.
It's for you, brother.
Yeah, but that was for you, man. That question was for you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. I've done it before, you know, or coming after an off season, going into the racing, and I've been fit. So I think
champion.
I'll be just fine.
You know, defending champion, man.
Yep. I want to, you know, 110% is what I'm going to give to be able to claim it again.
You're going to run the number 1 plate or keep the 94?
I think I have to run number 1 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would keep my 94.
Right.
94 is my sign. And otherwise, you know, if I wouldn't have to run number 1.
Well, just tell Kenny Watson, maybe you can have that number 1, and in the middle, they can
draw a little
Sharpie.
Little silver Sharpie action there.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. We know you're fired up. You know, you came into this Supercross season and you were ready. It was just a little bit of a freak deal, but let's talk about Ryan Dungey. Did you see that guy coming this year? You know, I mean, about 5 races in, wow. You know, he just took off. And
it just seems kind of like in the beginning he was, I don't know what really, you know, he's called a diesel. He does his thing. He's always around, you know, podium area and stuff. And it just seems like at one point, you know, something clicked, and you know, he was riding really good. He was winning a lot of races compared to you know, previous years. He was never really the guy that, you know, won 5-6 races, something like that.
Right.
So, you know, good for him for sure.
Right.
You know, it's been a while since he's had a championship. So, you know, it's congratulations to him, by the way, too. You know, hats off.
Well, we're going to go down here and talk to Justin Hill, I believe, who was our fastest qualifier there in 250A qualifying number 1. I think Justin hurt us, man. Maybe he got a little upset out there.
Like
and
Austin Politelli last weekend. He goes out and wins his heat after coming on his show.
51.2 right there by Justin Hill.
On the last lap, what did you do so different to get in the 51.2 second range?
Pretty much just cleaned up my turns a lot. I hit this triple section in the back, which is difficult, but really just cleaned up my lap and tried not to make too many mistakes, cut corners when I can, and really the whoops are so difficult right now. It was hard to get the lap off. Like when we talk about heaters, today are heaters for sure.
You know, this track is very technical, so there's some places that you were talking about right there that makes all the difference, but only 0.2 of a second separate you and Malcolm Stewart right now. What's going to make the difference on this track?
Really, like I said, the whoops are really difficult, and for Malcolm being a bigger guy, he can just kind of come in and hammer them. So I think that's all you need to really work on for tonight.
Does the wall in the middle of the whoop section make it really intimidating as you're coming in?
Oh, absolutely, because it just offsets you. You think that you're loaded to go into them, and then you're not, and it can get hairy like a couple of guys have gone down, but I'm excited for tonight. The track's technical, and that's my thing.
Is there anything that you learned in this practice to bring into the next round of qualifying, or something you might work on with your bike or your team before we come back out?
We made a very small change to the front end before that practice, and it's awesome. The bike's great, so I don't want to touch it.
All right, there you have it. He set the fastest qualifying time in this first round of qualifying. One more time for the Red Bull KTM rider number 32, Justin Hill.
You know, it's interesting, Andy. Hey, don't touch that bike.
Yeah, the bike's perfect.
I mean, when I was riding, man, they want to change it. No, don't touch it.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I don't like messing around. I'd rather, obviously, if it's too big of a difference, you got to kind of, try to figure it out. But I'm the kind of guy, I don't really like to touch the bike. I'd rather work on myself a little bit and adjust than having to do both.
Cool, man.
Interesting answer.
We really can't thank you enough for coming on Race Day Live today.
Kenny, good luck in the outdoors.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Don't get mobbed out here by all these beautiful women out here I see that are lined up on this outside
they're here
here.
for you, Jim. This is Jim's birthday today, too.
Yeah, it's my birthday.
No way.
Yeah,
oh, man. Happy birthday, bud.
But these guys are for Kenny. I wish we had a camera we could spin around, but go enjoy it, Kenny.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, man. And we are going to do a little bit of track prep here. No, they're going to fire off these 450Ks here pretty quick. But in the first practice session, Brayton and Dungey jumped out there and really set the tone.
Yeah, he did. I mean, and Kenny was interesting when he was on here. He talks about it, and he says, you know what? I'm really not a guy that free practice, it's okay, and if he's not on, and it's interesting, we had Brayton and other guys on, and sometimes it bothers these guys when they're not up on that board there. But Dungey let him out. Looking at who's that right there? That's looks like Nick Schmidt, maybe. No, that's Brock Tickle right there.
Nick Schmidt, Reedy, and you're right, Jim. The girls left. Kid leaves, the girls left. What?
Yeah, no, they want to follow Kenny. They want a photo with him.
What a cool guy, man. I'm so pumped he came on the show.
I really enjoy Kenny.
Me too.
I mean, he's a nice kid. There's nobody that doesn't feel so bad than him that he couldn't finish out this season. Win, lose, or draw, he wanted to be here racing.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad. We drilled him a little bit about that mistake he made in Houston, but hey, that's what we got to do sometimes. But you could just hear it in his voice and see it in his face when he started describing it, how bummed he was about that, because he was really off to a fast start to this season, man.
Well, I mean, he won both Anaheims there and just
2 of the first 3.
It. Yeah, I mean, but that could have been a whole lot worse. He wouldn't even made it down to the other Anaheims or San Diego or Arlington or even Atlanta. Yeah. That could have been a whole lot worse for him.
He's going to be tough outdoors, but I tell you what, he's going to lock horns with that guy right there on your TV screen right now, the new 2015 Monster Energy Supercross champion, and I can't believe we're saying that with 3 rounds to go.
Yeah, it's happened before. I mean, some of these guys, they get out to a big lead, they clinch it, and they're just enjoying it right now. But, Ryan wants to win some more races. He wants to, you get more money when you win.
That's what he said. I talked to him today.
Yeah.
We sat down, had a little interview, and I was like, well, so what are you going to do for the next 3 races? Like, hopefully win them.
Yeah, I mean,
big bonuses.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to lay down. There's no way. He's out here to win, and he's got one focus, and his focus is to come out here, even though he's got that championship, and win these last 3 rounds.
He wants to win MetLife Stadium next weekend, too. We can't stress how big that race is going to be. On Fox Broadcasting Network next Saturday at 3 p.m. Going to make history and put Supercross racing on the largest sports network in the world.
Yep. Not Fox 1, not Fox 2, but the Fox Broadcasting Network. It's huge. Yeah, we're right there with the NFL now and Major League Baseball. Heck, maybe Troy Aikman and Joe Buck will come out and watch.
That's right. Well, how about Cole Seeley last weekend, man? What a dream day. Fast in qualifying, wins his heat race, leads every single lap of the main for his first victory of his career.
Well, and I don't think he's done. I got a chance to
I don't
fly.
either. He smoked him last week.
Yeah, with his dad back home, and, they really won second in this championship, and they're just sitting, just a few ticks away with 3 rounds to go over Eli Tomac.
Or something, am I wrong?
Well, it's 13 points back, so that's not much considering how horrible starts Eli Tomac's been getting.
There's another guy that's been strong lately, Josh Grant. And, you know, he's like a light switch. Once he gets a little bit of confidence, you can just tell. He starts throwing bigger whips. He can get around the corners as good as anybody out there. Josh Grant hasn't been on the podium so far in 2015. With 3 races to go, I'm looking for the number 33 to get on the box.
Yeah, I mean, that 4th last weekend in Houston, it wasn't a fluke. He earned it.
He rode the top 3 the whole race.
He put himself in a good position with the start. Like you said, stayed out of trouble. You know, his boss, Chad Reed, finished up 4th behind, but he got into it with Anderson, or 5th rather. He got into it with Anderson and stuff. But Josh kind of kept his kept his nose clean that whole race.
A lot of guys got into it with Anderson last weekend, Jim.
Yeah. I wonder if Weston talked to him after.
I was just getting ready to say, I don't know if you got a visit from Weston Pike in the bits. There's Weston Pike.
Yep, right there. He looks good. That's another guy that's chomping at the bit to get a podium. You know, he's only got 3 more rounds to go. I kind of picked him in Houston to have a podium. He looked like he was in a good spot right there.
You got Anderson. No, man, it's tough. I'm glad to see those guys are aggressive, you know, especially as a rookie. Jason coming in here and showing him that he belongs in this class. And Weston Pike's had to do the same thing. When he was a privateer, he had to scratch and claw and landed himself a factory ride for this season. He's done really, really well. Like you say, Jim, I think a podium is definitely in his near future.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look for his teammate there. Justin Barcia sitting in 8th. He made his comeback last weekend. I believe he finished up 9th, so not too bad to start off.
Tell you what, look who's number 1 there, Weston Pike, a 51.1. Well, there goes Tomac. As soon as I say that, Tomac with a 50.9 is our fastest so far. Top 5, Eli Tomac, Weston Pike, Ryan Dungey, and Justin Brayton as your top 4. Cole Seeley rounding out your top 5. Lap times are dropping fast. What do they figure out there, Jim?
I like Partridge out there, 199, sitting in that 7th spot. He's been putting in some good rides. Well, they're just getting a little bit more. The track's starting to dry out a little bit. It's got some moisture in it still, but it wasn't quite as greasy as that first free practice.
I just saw Partridge go through the whoops, and I figured out why he's in the top 7. Wow.
He just smoked it.
Yeah. I'm surprised how good the track works. You know, Feld track crew, they really put a lot of water down last night. Remember when we were watching them water it, we were like, holy cow.
Yeah, Rich Winkler and the boys over at the Feld track crew, they do such a good job on preparing these. I mean, not only when we have a lot of sun, but when it rains in some of these things, I'm just amazed at how the track turns out.
Yeah. And folks, AMSOIL Synthetic Dirt Bike Oil delivers maximum horsepower, bulletproof wear protection, and consistent clutch feel for the confidence you need to get on it, get after it, and stay out front. AMSOIL, out front performance. Visit amsoil.com/dirtbike to learn more. Hey man, you got a new leader right now, Jason Anderson, 50.7.
And he's been consistent. He was the fastest in that free practice. I think he wants to try to redeem himself.
Maybe he wants to try to pull Cole Seeley and go out there and get a W.
Well, you know, a lot of these guys, they look at Anderson's had a couple podiums. He's had a 2nd, he's had a 3rd, but he hasn't had that win where Cole Seeley's had a 3rd, 2nd, and he's got a win. And he wants to get a win, I'm sure.
Blake Baggett jumps up into the top 5. Tomac. Dungey's up to 2nd. Tomac's 3rd now. There's Anderson. That's our fastest rider here in 450A, qualifying number 1. In Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Man, it feels good to be outside here and having great guests. It was cool having Ken Roczen on. And there's Troy Lee coming over here. He's going to join us here a little bit. You raced that guy.
Yeah, and he rode a Husky. I'm going to ask him about it. There's Anderson there. Kind of pulled it in there and to the mechanics. Maybe make a little bit of a shock change or something. Just something minor. You know, maybe he thinks he can get another couple of things. He might have, you know, sometimes when they go in there, you know, the guy or rider will come in. I've done it before. Come here, I feel my back tire, man. This thing feels like I'm riding on a flat. Or did you tighten the nut on the back axle, man? This thing don't feel right. Kick it, it's fine. Get out there, you know. We only got about 2 minutes and 56 seconds. You're wasting it in here talking to me. Get out there and go.
Right, there's nothing wrong with the tire.
Nothing wrong with the bike.
Ooh.
That's
just about took a trip to Indonesia right there. That was, you guys see, you lose your concentration for 1 second, just like Kenny said. And this track will bite you. Any Supercross track will reach up and get you. You got to stay focused.
Well, and I think that's why like those outdoors, you have a little bit more room if you do make a mistake, you know. But here, I mean, it is so intense,
aggressive,
so
man.
focused.
Aggressive, yeah. That's why it's the greatest show on dirt, man. I love this sport. Apparently, a lot of people do too, because we've been having great crowds. Everybody's tuning into the broadcast. We're stoked to have everybody watch race day live here and watch racers like Ronnie Stewart trying to get into the main event.
Yeah, Ronnie's struggled this year. I mean, I know last year after Indy he made all those main events, but he's kind of struggled this year. But
class is tougher.
You know, another place that I like, they're up in Spokane with the Amsoil Arena Cross Series. They got Spokane, they got next weekend in Fresno, and then the final, May 1st in Las Vegas at South Point. I'm really looking forward to going over there and watching and see if Regal or Blows can, you know, take that championship.
Had a first-time winner with those guys last weekend, you know?
Yeah.
Jared Steinke went out there and got it done.
Hey, and that's huge for Steinke, you know, to come away with a win like that. And he knows now his confidence these last 3 rounds. Don't be surprised if he jumps up into there and wins some more. You know, that's the huge part of it.
Those wins are contagious.
Look at Tickle. Well, he was there. And Dungey jumped up. Anderson went down to 3rd. And Tickle went down to 4th now.
Well, they're really shaking up. 49.9 right now. Half a second faster than Ryan Dungey at a 50.5. Wow. Tomac. He seems to be able to do that all year long. With 1 lap speed, Eli Tomac he's the fastest guy.
Well, I talked to him, you know, last week. He really didn't like that track.
No, he did not.
Tell.
He did not.
He had to come through the semi and everything. He just had a horrible qualifying sessions.
It was one of those interviews that you go into it knowing, well, this isn't going to go so well. He's not happy. He's fast, though.
Definitely fast, but he's going to have to get a start. You know, Cole Seeley, he didn't get that whole shot, but he put himself in that good position like Josh Grant. You know, anytime you can get in that top 3, you've got a good start.
And your top 5, with about 30 seconds to go, is Tomac, Dungey, Anderson, Tickle, and Baggett. Good to see Tickle and Baggett up there in the top 5 and fighting. They're followed by Cole Seeley, Weston Pike, Justin Brayton, Josh Grant, and Kyle Partridge. Rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, how about that? 3 rookies in the top 6.
There they are.
And we're going to have another rookie. He was talking about Marvin Muskin. Marvin Muskin going to move up to that 450.
He's going to be fast next year. I like Marvin, man.
And the thing about it with Marvin, he gets good starts.
He gets good starts. He rides smooth. He doesn't crash. He's super fast. Does good interviews. Marvin's feeling it, man. He's
super skinny.
Yeah.
That's a guy that needs to put some weight on him when he gets on that 450. I guarantee Alden Baker will put a little weight on him. That big number 3 for Eli Tomac. There it is.
Checkered flag is out. So Tomac's going to be going down there to talk to Lurch, I believe.
Yep.
And hear about how he was the fastest yet again.
It's interesting when you come by the mechanics there, you know, they got their signboards out. They're just telling what the lap time is and to try it better. They'll tell you, you know, first place, Eli Tomac, you know, 49.9. You know, you got to beat that. You're at a 50.7 if you're Tickle. You're seeing that out there and you're going, man, I got to pick it up. Where can I pick it up?
Yeah.
You go out there and you try to push it. You push it, you lose the front end, you almost crash it. That's it.
Look at it. Look how close they all are, you know, with the exception of Tomac being a half a second faster.
Yeah, 50 from second all the way down to 6th.
Yeah, 6th.
Huge.
Boy, folks, I hope you can see that sunshine the way we're feeling it right now, because it is a beautiful day here at Levi Stadium.
I was thinking I was in Hawaii.
It feels great. Yeah.
This is paradise.
Well, I don't know. As sick as you are this morning, you probably do think you're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Once again, man, everybody give Jim Hawley a big happy birthday today. He's fighting through some adversity.
It's all right. I'd rather be here fighting through it than on that track fighting through it.
That's right, man.
Getting his helmet off now. Eli, what an incredible run, incredible stadium, but more importantly, you got that #1 qualifying time and put yourself in good position for the night. And this is only the first one.
Yeah, it's a good start there. And, man, at the beginning of the session there, I actually had a little goofy fall into the tough blocks. Did the exact same the practice before, so hopefully I'm getting those out of the way. But hop back on my bike and found a few more good lines, some stuff that made the lap time go lower. So, yeah, it's a good start. You know, it's a different track. It's a little bit slower than our normal, so that's just comparing it to last week, and it's fine. But I think it's throwing some guys off for sure.
You know, soil composition a little different. Rocky soil. The whoops look tough. Almost looks like they're starting to get some sharp edges on them. Could be a never-changing beast throughout the night.
Yeah, it's going to be, and it's just going to be the guy that doesn't make the mistakes, because it's a really technical track that requires some good timing.
You know, one question. You obviously beat these guys for time this one, but somebody wants to know, can you beat your dad in a mountain bike race?
I mean, you know, I would say I get him up the hills now, but down the hills, he can still shred me up, and anything else has to do with pure skill. So he's got me back.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the number 3 Geico Honda. Irv, his dad, one of the best in the downhill.
He is absolutely talking about his dad.
And we're back on track here. 450B qualifying number 1. Got some good stories here. Preston Mole. He's not racing this weekend, but a little factoid. I don't think people missed over this, skipped over it kind of. There's a 250F in the 450 main event last weekend, and Mitchell Oldenburg, and I think he got a top 10 actually, unless I'm mistaken. Where did Mitchell Oldenburg finish last weekend?
Yeah, actually 14.
14.
But
okay,
still, I mean,
on
a 250. I mean, I wouldn't be. That was huge for him.
Yeah, I had no idea, and it was actually Steve Guyberson came up and said, "Hey, you know that's a 250." And I was like, "No way."
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I asked Jimmy Perry from Yamaha, and he said, "Yep, that's a new rule. Just I think last year, you can ride a 250 in the 450 class. How about that?"
And I think, you know, for some guys making that transition from a 250 to the 450, it's okay to ride a 250 in there. You know, just to kind of, you know, that 450 is a lot to handle.
Yes, it is. Attention race fans, check out the reigning national MX champion Yamaha YZ250F and new 2015 YZ450F 4-strokes at YamahaMotorsports.com today. And DC Shoes. DC is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes.
You're looking at some of these times now, you know, a 59.4, that's a great time.
Good lap. Good lap. That's a Caden, Michael and Caden there. Almost 2 seconds faster, 2 full seconds faster than White, followed by Nagy, Bueller, and Bauer, your top 10, your top 5, excuse me.
You know, another guy that was riding that 250 also in the 450 class, Gannon Audette. Alex Morris told me that from the Legends and Heroes that he was on a 250.
Right,
yeah.
there was Preston Mole, Gannon Audette, AJ Catanzaro, and Mitchell Oldenburg. Those were the 250s in the 450 class last weekend. And folks, we want you to log on to the official website of Monster Energy Supercross at supercrosslive.com for exclusive race day coverage, daily updates, and exclusive content. You can catch rider interviews, race highlights, and more.
Yeah.
Check out results and point standings. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Supercross Live and see what everyone is talking about. Use your hashtags. At Supercross on Fox, hashtag Who's Next, hashtag Supercross Live to see your photos on our official website. I like our new website. It looks good.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I really enjoy going on it.
Easy to navigate.
Looking up different stats and things like that.
Got a buddy of mine,
see
Jeff,
that number there.
Crutcher's been writing an article on there. He's a really good writer and starting to build some content there. Number 918, that's who we're watching in your screen. Hasn't got, that's, oh yeah, Caden. He was our early fastest guy, Caden.
That's what I thought, yeah. With that 59.4, right. Some of the other guys now, Paulie up to a 58.1 now. So they've kind of picked it up a little bit here.
Yes, they have.
Right behind him, White, Nagy there. They're in the 58s also.
Theodore Pauly from Illinois.
Probably happy to be out here in the Santa Clara area, soaking up some of this sunshine.
Beautiful day. You know, there's barely any breeze, just a little bit of a breeze to knock the heat down, but it's just an awesome day. I got long sleeves on. I don't know why I chose to do that, but it's just comfortable. Feels great.
One of the guys going off the track there. Cade
pulling off.
We saw Chad Reed do that in that first free practice.
He overjumped the finish line. Bad. I just happened to look up and see him flying over the berm. Whoa, down goes 773.
Who is that?
Van Olden.
Yep.
I think he just went down a couple laps ago.
Yeah, them whoops are pretty tough for him.
It's tough.
It's hard because you get into them and you get a rhythm going, then you got a little bit of a break with a big kind of double jump in there, and then after that, you got some more whoops to kind of contain with.
Track's still holding up well. Still got some good moisture in it. I'm sure we're going to put a little bit more down, do some track prep here shortly.
Absolutely. The Feld Tracker, they'll jump on this during that intermission and put some more moisture down into it. And then after all the time practices they'll put some more water in it, and as soon as that sun sets on that side there, you got to be careful on how much water you're putting into it.
Look who's at the top there. It's your buddy.
Yeah, Alex Ray. I mean, that's, you know, you make your first main event in Detroit back a few weeks ago, and now you got confidence there. And I know Brian McDonald helping him out, a 56.2. So a great time for Alex Ray there. Just a neat article they did on him in Racer X too.
It's always cool to see those guys get to their first main event. I mean, they're so pumped. There's Preston Bull. Preston Bull has a really trick-looking two-stroke over in his pits.
Dustin Pipes down there. He's got a lot of fans here. He's from the Fresno area there, sitting in 8th right now.
Preston's heater right there just launched him into 2nd. He is. Well, Alex Ray put the heat on these guys. He's 7/10 faster than Preston Bull, and followed by Devin Raper, Pauly, and White. That's your top 5 so far.
Yeah, and I'm sure that 7 seconds is corner speed. You know, Brian McDonald's real big on that, entering and exiting into the corners, because, I mean, basically everybody can jump the Monster Energy finish line. They can
finish line.
Over jumped. Who was that?
It's a Caden.
Again.
Yeah.
He's losing focus. I mean, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, you've had plenty of time on this track here. It just makes more work for your mechanic.
I couldn't tell what happened. I know that.
Here, look at the replay here now. He's just come over there and just OJ'd it just way too far. Well, not that.
Alex Ray.
That was Alex Ray there. Alex Ray did it perfect, though.
Yes, he did. Caden did not. I just happened to turn around and look up, and I saw him flying through the air. And it's funny when you see somebody overjump and they're trying to use the air brakes, and it doesn't work.
No air brakes. They're going to put the flaps out, you know, to kind of defer.
Well, you kind of put your butt over the back of the bike and take your feet off and try to kick backwards, but it doesn't matter. Once you set that thing into launch mode, it's going to land wherever it wants to land.
The wind's starting to blow our trees around. Dan's just jumping right on it. You better.
Can't have our trees.
Almost took out a light.
Oh boy, beautiful day. We're going to say that over and over again here in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. The inaugural race here in Levi Stadium. But hey, man, there's some history here in San Jose.
Well, and you talk about
6 years of it over at Spartan Stadium, Jim.
Yeah, those were from 1990 to 95. Guys like McGrath, LaRocco, Bradshaw, Doug Dubach, Stanton, they've won there. And then, you know, if you look at AT&T Park up there in San Francisco where the Giants play from 2003 to 10, guys like winners there, RV, Stewart, Reed, RC there. And then before that, you had the Oakland O.com. We were there last year, and Villapoto won that one, and he actually won 13, and James won 11 and 12. Lachine won back in October 20th, 1984. I finished up 16th that day. Not a good ride for me.
Oh, Jim.
40 was 15th, though, so I was all right. Brecker was 14th. George Holland, 13th. Ken Howerton, Billy Lyles, Mark Barnett, 9th. Alan King, Keith Bowen, one of my old teammates. But the top 3 that day was dominated by Hondas. And it was, 2 Hondas and a Yamaha, because Ricky Johnson at that time was still on the Yamaha, on the last one. But Ronnie Lachine, Bailey, Johnson, Glover, Burnworth, O'Mara, Bowen, King, Barnett, and Eric Eaton from the Pacific Northwest in that 10th spot there.
Eric Eaton, I believe he won Washougal National,
He did, yeah.
500 class.
Down below that, 11th through 20th, because we only had 20 in the main events back then. It was Billy Lyles, Ken Howerton, George Holland, Goat Brecker, Wardy, myself, Russ Wageman, Jeff Hicks, Ricky Ryan, and Ali Seymour. You know, so
Ali Seymour
back there riding.
And with just about a minute to go here, it's still Alex Ray out front with the 54.9, followed by Teddy Parks with the 56.6. Third quickest is Ramette with the 56.8. Preston Bull and Devin Raper round out your top 5.
Raper's still one of those guys to not get that bike into the main event. He's
Hasn't
got
done it yet.
Three more opportunities to do it, like you said, here in Levi Stadium. And next week, the big one. Fox.
Right. MetLife Stadium, man.
3 o'clock.
I can't wait to get to New York City. I've never been. I can't wait.
Never been?
No, man. That's
really?
one of the only places in the
Big
United
Apple?
States. Nope, sure haven't. So it's
You're
going to be cool.
enjoy yourself.
I can't wait. You're going to have to show me around, Jim.
Look at Teddy Parks there, sitting in that second with a 56.6 right there. Alex Ray still with that 54.9. Wow, is that a 54 now? Can't look at my eyes. It is a 54.9. Man, Alex Ray is on fire. He wants to get in that A practice.
Tell you what, Jim, the fans are really starting to roll in here in Santa Clara. You know, there's a lot of motocross up here in NorCal. You got Hollister just down the road. You got Club Moto up here. There's the Oatfield out in Turlock. You know,
Los Banos.
Yeah, Los Banos. It's a good little hub of fans and racers up here. I always love NorCal.
Well, I'm glad to see we have, as you're looking at Alex Ray there and Teddy Parks right behind him. But, you know, we have 2 rounds now in Oakland, here, and I think it's great for the fans.
Yeah, a lot of them are already turning out. It's good to have them here.
And Alex Ray, he is going to be pumped.
Oh, that was quick.
He laid down that fast lap time.
Almost 2 seconds faster than everybody. I would have held up well in the A group.
Yeah, no. But it's interesting, his last lap was a 57.8 there, so clearly, you know, you got to duplicate that. It's hard, you know, to throw together the back-to-back fast laps.
You know, it's cool seeing all these fans rolling. I like seeing them buy the merchandise, you know, and I want to remind you guys, shop for official Monster Energy Supercross merchandise on the official online store. Go to supercrosslive.com and click on store to get a great selection of the hottest gear. Shop by rider or items including caps, jerseys, tees, hoodies, and much, much more. Look out for special offers on official gear all season long right here on Race Day Live and supercrosslive.com, the official website of Monster Energy Supercross. You can get these mugs. You know, this is the coolest mug ever. Been drinking out of it all season.
Yeah, they're cool. I really enjoy these mugs.
Yeah.
My buddy old Kurt Binky, he says, hey, when you're done with that thing this year, you need to send that up to Montana. Yeah. Speaking of Dungey, we're going to go to that interview with Dungey, but look at this poster. Cool. Yeah. Alex Moros, legend here at Dunlop, presented this, but it's pretty cool. It's got Dungey and all the champions here, you know. See Marty Tripes there, Pierre Carsmakers, Gary Simix, Jimmy Ellis. You know, I think if you want one of these, Andy, I think I can hook you up. If you go by the Legends and Heroes display at any Supercross, they're going to hand these out. And if you go to their website, I'm sure you could probably get one off their website too. But
Alex Murphy be happy to let you have one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, it's nice. And
featured Ryan Dungey.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you know, hey, this guy earned it. I mean, you know, think about everything that he had to go through this year. You know, I mean, last year he got married, changing houses, things like that.
Changed trainers.
Demanded a new motorcycle. Said, look, I want this bike to be designed like this, and we can win. And for him to deliver that, and Pitt Beyer and Roger DeCoster and Ian Harrison and all the guys getting behind him and making those changes on him, he was under a lot of pressure. I mean, if that bike didn't perform, you know, I know the beginning of the season, you know, he had that 4th at the opener. But after that, man.
Worst finish of the year.
Yeah,
4th.
Can you believe it?
It was cool. Ryan Dungey has a lot of things to be proud of this season. He's our new champion. We had a chance to sit down with him. Here's what he had to say.
Andy Boy with Race Day Live, presented by Amsoil. We're here with new 2015 Monster Energy Supercross champion Ryan Dungey. First off, congratulations, man.
Thank you very much. It definitely this year to wrap that up early. You know, we still got a couple races left yet, but
3.
yes, but it's a great feeling, you know, not just for me, but for the team, you know, all of KTM and everybody that sticks behind me to get this accomplishment done. So definitely excited about it, but we're ready for more.
Man, let's go back to round 1. You had your worst finish of the season, a 4th. You know, but what was you thinking there? You know, you were pretty close to the guys, didn't have the best start, but how did that set the tone for the rest of your series?
The first race wasn't exactly ideal, you know. I mean, it wasn't bad by any means, but I felt a little flat. Definitely there was a few areas, and you know, we had a new bike and everything's going good, and there's no excuses by any means, but I think at that point of the game, you can test all you want coming into the season, but that race was the true test. So from there, we were able to really, it wasn't like, oh man, that wasn't a good race. It was like, all right, let's build on that. Now we got to find what areas we can be better, and from there, that's what we did. So it took a few rounds, but we got there.
Well, you found speed. You know, you won your championship in 2010. You won 6 races, but this year your speed really picked up. What do you attribute that to? The bike, or working with Alden, or how did you just find some more speed?
Well, it's a lot of things. I mean, definitely with this new bike, they did a great job, and I've said it many times, but they really did this bike up really nice. And so between that, you know, once we got about 3-4 rounds in, and we were doing a little testing during the week. So once we finished that, I liked my setting. It was like, all right, now let's focus on riding this setup and not thinking about the setup and building speed, like you said, but also working with Eldon. You know, I really felt like I was training myself to be an explosive guy and out of the gate strong and having the fitness. So I really owe a lot to him, and credit to with my program and giving that to him. So just a bit of everything. So it's a lot of good things though coming in this new year. Some change ups, some switch ups, but overall everything for the good.
Tell me, I know you guys chase lap times, you know, every day, lap after lap. When you first got on that thing, what did the stopwatch say?
You know, honestly, I didn't notice it right away. I rode my 2013 bike. I had ridden for, 14 it was. Right. So I had ridden that bike for 3 years, and I hopped on this new 15 bike, and it was at the end of Supercross session. I was like, I think it's good. You know, everything feels. So I definitely felt the comfort in my hands, the chassis. Yeah. It was a different feel, but then I hopped back on my old bike, and I was like, wow, you know. So yeah, we had all of outdoors to do on it, which was good. I think we made a lot of progress with that old bike, and I feel like we might have still had more progress to make, and that we never quite tapped into, but then this 15 bike came along, and we were able to start really getting into it at the end of the year.
Compare the two championships. You win in your rookie season, that had to be unbelievable. But this year, the who's next, so much competition, and then you dominated. You won 6 out of 15 rounds so far. Which one between the two is your favorite?
Well, the first one's always the sweetest, you can kind of say, and especially the rookie year. Not really people really thought I could do that, and was a great accomplishment and everything. And I mean, it's the 450 Supercross championship. It was the biggest thing you can win in our sport at the time, and still is, but some years later, it took a while for us to get it right again, but this 15 one, I really felt like we came in strong, and we were consistent, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, we rose to the occasion, and it feels great.
Well, congratulations, Ryan. It answers the questions right here. Who's next? Ryan Dungey.
Cool story there with Ryan Dungey, and one of the things I wish I would have asked him about was his relationship with Roger DeCoster.
Yeah, I mean, a great interview you did with him, but you need a guy like that. We need 30 minutes just alone to ask him the questions that we had. I mean, right. I wanted to ask him some questions about, like Roger DeCoster picked him as an amateur to come over and ride for Suzuki. He delivered championships for Suzuki, and then, Suzuki had problems, and Roger left and went over to KTM, and Dungey stayed one more year with Suzuki because of his contract. Yep. But then Roger came calling again and said, look, why don't you come over to KTM? And
he says, I will build you a new motorcycle.
Yeah, that's the part about it, that Ryan had a hand in that, in developing that bike. I mean, that's huge, for the guys. So
yeah, it's great. It's great. Super proud of him. Dungey just really kind of threw the naysayers aside and got more aggressive, showed some more speed, posted some fast qualifying times, won 6 main events, man, and threw some heel clickers. So that's our champion. I'm glad to have him. He's very, very, very worthy. But, hey, Malcolm Stewart's coming up here in a little bit, so we want to have you guys tweet your questions in for Malcolm. Ask him about, some of his stuff on Instagram, or maybe some of his good finishes this year. He's winning Oakland. His brother's pretty fast. Let's hear some questions for Malcolm.
And he's a fisherman. You got to make sure that hashtag ask RDL out there as we're on the big screen. We want to welcome everybody into Levi Stadium,
hello.
Hopefully they're enjoying the beautiful sunshine and the great track we have here. But Malcolm Stewart due to come onto the show here, and it'll be interesting to ask him. But he likes to fish, so I think that's another one of those things that clears your head from racing and stuff, and stuff.
It's good being here in Levi Stadium, Jim. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful facility. We're so happy to have Supercross here.
Well, we need to get a picture of us on the big screen right there. Look at that. That's the we go to AT&T Park. Not AT&T, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas there, and they get the big screen, but this one's a monster size too.
Yeah, it's awesome. We want to thank all these fans for coming out here early. We got a lot of action going on. We got time qualifying. We've had some fast guys. Eli Tomac is the heat so far today, and but Jason Anderson's been fast. In the 250s, it's Zach Osborne, and a guy that's going to join us here in a little bit, Malcolm Stewart, fast again.
Yeah, and for all the people in the stadium, don't forget, next weekend at 3 p.m. on that East Coast, 12 out here for the West Coast fans, we're going to be on Fox Broadcasting Network. Not Fox 1, not Fox 2, but the Fox Broadcasting Network, April 25th in East Rutherford, New Jersey there. So, make sure you tune it in there to the Fox Broadcast Network. You got some fans behind us there. How you doing today, sir? Doing good? Who you pulling for tonight? He don't know. Who? Dungey. There you go. You know what? He said, Dungey, I'm gonna give you something from Alex Moros and stuff. How'd you like that poster there at Dungey there and all the former champions? Make sure you guys check it out. He's got more of those in the Legends and Heroes display.
And joining us here is going to be Malcolm Stewart, number 34 on the Geico Honda. Podium finisher last weekend, race winner in Oakland. Welcome to Race Day Live, man.
Good to see you, Malcolm. Now that's your spot right there, that X. You see that right there? That's where we gotta properly stand. Is you got a lot of fans here. They're getting a chance to listen, and hopefully some of them hashtag in, and we'll get some
questions
for you.
Yeah. How's the track, man? You're fast again this weekend.
Yeah, no, track's good. It's definitely a lot more technical than last week at Houston. So, so far everything's been going good. Hill got me on that last lap. But other than that, I'm having fun, man. And it's cool to be here at the new 49ers Stadium. So I'm a big 49ers fan, too. So
you hear that, folks?
Did you call Colin Kaepernick? Is he coming to watch you tonight?
I know. I wish I did. But no, definitely a big 49ers fan.
You know, I want to ask you, Houston last weekend, it went okay for you considering what you had. You had that third there, and but in that heat race, you got into the back of Osborne, and then his bike flew, or your bike flew over, and then Osborne got into that. You had a lot of get-offs last week.
Yeah, no, I did. Houston beat me up, man, and no, practice went down pretty hard, and definitely smashed my face. Felt like Mike Tyson got a hold of my nose. So, and then the heat race, went down with Osborne, and it's funny too because people are like, "Oh, there you go, the karma, got you." And no, I felt bad, that my bike, flipped over there, and he ran in the back, and both of us went down. But overall, glad that we both made it in the LCQ, and we were both back in the main event, so that was good.
You're probably happy to be back up in the Bay Area.
That's
O.com. Right. You got your first 250 win there earlier in the season there. You got a kind of a special place here in Northern California now.
Yeah, I do. And no, I mean, like I said, Oakland's cool. This place is awesome, and just having fun, man. That's what's honestly what's going on, and definitely like thank all you fans for coming out here. Definitely joining the new stadium, so I appreciate it, you guys.
It's been a good series, I mean, it's deep in the 250 West. You guys, Josh Hansen, Shane McGrath, Cooper Webb. It's deep, man. Did you think coming in this year that the West is going to be as heavy as it was?
No, West Coast is always tough, and each year all the amateur riders and they're coming in, the rookies, and everybody's getting faster. The bikes are getting better.
Yeah.
Everybody's pushing harder and harder, and there's more trainers and more riding coaches. So it definitely makes you step up your game, and I think I love it. It's definitely close racing for all the fans and stuff. So I think that's what's cool about it.
How is that Geico Honda? You're a pretty big guy, and you're getting good starts. You're getting over the whoops. That thing's got to be fast.
No, it is. Geico Honda is awesome, and coming in here, from Anaheim 1, not knowing what I was going to do at the end of last year is a miracle, and Jeff Marshall gave me that opportunity, and I felt like Oakland, paying those guys off for the win, it was awesome. So definitely been trucking along and doing the best I can. So you can't complain when you don't have anything. A lot of people come at me and say, you're too big for a 450 or a 250 and stuff. But man, when you guys are in my boat, man, there's no money coming in. You'll take whatever you got, right? if it's a 125 and 80, it doesn't matter as long as there's money coming in, right? So.
Well, Andy and I, we were going to talk to Jeff, and we're going to lobby for you. I'd like to see you next weekend in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Ride a 450 there. And you talk about that. I know Shane McElrath's going to make a debut on that KTM 450 next week.
Yeah, there's actually been talk about it, and it's definitely not a bad idea. I guess it's all depends on how tonight goes, and everything goes great. Hopefully we don't repeat anything like Houston. So if everything goes great, well, I know you guys would love to see me on the 450 and do what I did at Monster Cup and Straight Rhythm. So like I said, if everything goes the way it goes, and you guys will see me out there at number 34, definitely be at
Going for it. That's right. Like always, man. Malcolm, I've known you for a long, long time, years and years ago, and you were racing for fun, but you were taking fishing more seriously. Now the pro motocross career, you're winning main events. What's happened to the fishing career?
No, definitely. I'll never give up fishing. No, it's definitely something I do on the off season, and sometimes it's good to step away when you have your own hobby. It makes you realize how awesome it is to ride dirt bikes and do the things that you do. It's definitely clear your mindset, and you're itching to get back on the dirt bike, but also too it's definitely good to step back, go fishing, whatever you do. People fish, some people golf, whatever, and clear your mind, man, and you go back out there and have some fun.
Well, your teammate over there, Eli Tomac, talk about what he likes to do for fun. He goes out into the woods and just a backpack and a camping thing and his bow and arrow, and he lives off the land for 10, 15 days at a time.
I know. Me and Eli were actually talking 2 weeks ago about that. I said, man, you need to come take me elk hunting. He says, you're not ready yet. So I was like, oh, man.
What do you mean you're not ready yet? Why?
I guess he said it's a lot more different than fishing. So, so I don't know what I'm going to do if I see an elk running at me. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay there, shoot it, and I'm not sure.
Well, you better shoot it or it's going to nail you.
I don't know. I can run fast, I can tell you that.
Okay. Well, speaking about what you're doing, I've been following you on Instagram and social media. You've been riding outdoors a lot. What's going on with that? Are we going to race this summer?
Yeah, no, that's always the plan, to race this summer and stuff. And like I said, you know, even if it's a 450 or 250, it doesn't matter. You know, as long as there are opportunities there and having fun. You know, I know you guys fans, you always want to see me outdoors and stuff. So,
yeah,
like I said, definitely that's my goal, to be out there.
You in shape? You ready for it? 30 minutes plus 2?
Doesn't matter. I'll do it. If I'm not in shape or not, I don't care.
You're going to have a race anyway, right?
You get a chance. Is your brother James, does he help you out as far as training and stuff and push you when you're riding during the week and things like that?
Yeah, of course. You know, James definitely, you know, he's definitely been riding a lot. You know, definitely trying to keep me in touch. And, you know, even though he may not be racing, but, you know, those 4 weeks, you know, instead of the weekend, he's acting like he's training, like he's racing. So that's what the cool thing is about it. And, you know, only thing he's telling me, he said, this whole year, I've actually been doing it for him, you know, and that's been my whole goal is, and I've just been trying to, you know, show him that, you know, I definitely can do it for you, and I've been doing good so far.
Well, I know he was proud of you when you got your first win there in Oakland earlier part of this year.
No, he was stoked, and for an opportunity like that to you know, win on both of the brothers like that, it's a dream come true, and it's kind of unexplained, you know.
That's awesome, Malcolm. I got two brothers, man. It is what it is. It's your brother, man. And here's our first Twitter question, Darwin Garcia. Malcolm, you got to move up to the 450 class in Supercross next year. What's up with that?
You know, if there's some opportunities coming up, there's a lot of open doors now, so definitely can't say anything, but
that's good news.
The goal is obviously on the 450, but if not, like I said, can't complain if you don't have anything.
I like your attitude.
I'm just saying,
you're here to have fun, and you'll ride whatever. If it's a moped, whatever, you're just having fun racing.
As long as there's money coming into my bank account.
Well, Malcolm, man, thanks. We know you're going to be busy. You got to get back out there and qualify again.
Good luck.
You got to win that main event tonight. Say goodbye to all these fans out here for coming from Malcolm Stewart.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Well, we have an arena cross piece coming up right now. It's pretty exciting. I want you to pay attention how tight this track is and how close those guys are together in the confines of the bull rings of arena cross. We had a first-time winner. It's a really cool story. Check it out.
I'm Jared Steinke. We're here in Spokane, Washington for the AMSO Arena Cross. My whole night went pretty well. I qualified 8th out of practice. I got 5th in the heat race. And the first main event, I got a decent start and just worked my way from about 11th to 9th. I got lucky enough where they drew gate pick, or suitcase 16, sorry, and the whole field was inverted. And I got first gate pick and got the whole shot and just rode my own race. And coming around the first corner, you know, I was super nervous, and I just knew I had a good feeling that I had it in the bag. But you know, it's the first one of my career here in AMSO Arena Cross. 2 laps to go. I got really nervous, and I was just hoping, let's stay out of the carnage. I seen, I think it was Gerke and Canary got together, and they're going down, and Janolfi crashed. I was like, just stay out of the carnage, Jared. Just stay out of the carnage and ride your own race and get your first victory of your career. I'm just so excited. You know, this is the first one of my career. It really boosts my confidence for the remainder racing to the championship, and I need to get another one, and I love that feeling of getting that victory. So I need to get a couple more under my belt for sure.
And how about that? We had a first-time winner in Arena Cross, a first-time winner in Supercross. It was a big weekend last weekend. The big show continues on. Jeremy Meyer from AMSOIL, welcome to Race Day Live, man.
Well, what a gorgeous day. It's 44 back home up there in Superior, Wisconsin, so a little bit of sunshine ain't going to hurt us.
You want to move out here, don't you?
No. I love coming out here, but I love the seasons back home. So.
All right. Well, Jeremy, you've been around a long time, you know, and talk about your relationship with Factory Connection. Your partnership started in 1998. That's something you guys have kept really, really solid.
Yeah, we started with Ziggy. We started in snowcross one year, and then the next year when we got back into sponsoring things after about a 10, 15-year hiatus, you know, Ziggy came knocking on the door, and we became, you know, the oil partner and the major partner, the title sponsor back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it just kind of kept trucking along. You know, they've had some different title sponsors. They got Geico now, you know, that they've been with Honda, but Jeff and Ziggy, you know, from Laraco when he was racing up through K-Dub, and, you know, the amateur program was titled with AMSOIL, and, you know, guys like Tomac has come through there, Barsha, Trey Canard, all these guys, they were amateurs with us before they came into the pros, and they started cutting their teeth here in Supercross and then outdoors on the Factory Connection program. So it's been a great partnership for a long time, and we love it. We love the guys there, and we love racing.
I bet in your office you probably have all those guys you mentioned, all of their jerseys up on that wall.
Well, I just moved offices, so they're on the floor right now.
Okay.
But we got posters signed. I got one where Kevin Windham and Will Hahn are going back and forth, and they're making fun of each other in an autograph poster to me. So, yeah, there's a lot of memorabilia up there, and we've enjoyed it for the years. I've been here almost 11 years, and you collect a few things over the years.
Oh, yeah. Something else you guys have done this year, you're the official oil of the MMI school.
Yeah, they reached out to us. It's a partnership that was developed through Supercross and Arena Cross, and Terry Emig reached out to us at a trade show, actually, and what a great partnership that's been for us. We're really getting into the curriculum out there. Lengroom's going to be up here talking a little bit about the product stuff that they're doing there, but in the curriculum, the kids, the mechanics, are going to be using AMSO products in the classroom, and so it's going to be a great thing for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years as not only in the classroom but as they get out in the workforce.
You spoke briefly about Arena Cross, but you guys jumped in there with both feet with Team Babbitt's, and you got a chance to win this championship. What's it been like working in that arena? Oh,
it's been so great. We had a chance with Babbitt's a few years ago when Darcy was racing for them, and Johnson, and then we kind of stepped away from them, focused on our Supercross deal. But then when we started with Feld, we came out as Arena Cross, and I was AMSO Arena Cross, and we got back with Babbitt's when we became title sponsorship, and and we had Bowers going on for us for a number of years there, and then he moved over here, and then this whole road to Supercross has just been a lot of excitement. We're seeing the Factory Connection guys race there, and then just to have that success and that depth with the Babbitt's guys in AMSO Arena Cross has been a real boost to the program.
We're always doing Race Day Live, and we don't get a chance to go to some of those AMSO Arena Crosses, but I am going to get a chance when we're in Las Vegas on May 1st, South Point, to get a chance to see the final race go down. I think it's going to go down to the wire. I don't think they're going to wrap up that championship anytime soon.
No, it's such a cool format where they kind of seed themselves out at the beginning of the year, and then it's just balls to the walls to the end of the year.
Right?
And between Rigo and the three guys from Babbitt's and everybody just kind of pounding on each other, it's going to be a lot of fun over the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and talk about the fun you've had with Eli Tomac this year. 2 victories. I know you guys wanted the championship, but he's been fast. He's been fast in qualifying, but it's got to be fun to work with a phenomenal rider like that.
Well, he's just such a good person, first and foremost, and that always helps the sponsorship go a heck of a lot easier. And then when you come out and you win, and like we said, we've been with Tomac since he was an amateur, and now for him to find success at the 450 level and really to pick up that steam where LaRocco and Windham, Windham retired a couple years ago, and for Eli Tomac to now be our big 450 guy, it's been a treat. It's been a treat to watch, and you see him today, and he kind of eats a little bit of dirt, and he comes out, and next lap he cranks out the fastest time. It's like, what the heck?
Just a little competitive, that guy.
Oh, man. It's fun to watch those guys when they get a little bit of anger in them, and they want to go, and they get, it's almost like it resets that switch, and they get that focus, and it's, here we are, we're running a 49.9, so that's a lot of fun to watch.
That's something I noticed with the Honda. You talk about Cole Seeley getting his win, and then Eli Tomac with a couple wins, but the resurgence of HRC with Honda, I think that, I talked to Dan Bentley, the team manager over there, and just having HRC on board, I think that pushes the guys just a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, they're always trying to find that next edge, that next place to push, and next year the guys are going to be fast, and young guys are going to be coming up through, and anytime you can find a competitive edge, it helps you out.
There you go. Well, you're a big fan, Jeremy. I know you've watched all the races. Have you had a favorite race this year that really stuck out to you?
Detroit.
The win.
the 2 wins, the 250 and the 450 guys
Phoenix
winning.
And Detroit, pretty good.
Phoenix and Detroit were a lot of fun for us. Last week, or when Malcolm crashed and came back too, that's a heck of a lot of fun to watch those guys. I like seeing guys who get knocked down a little bit and got to come back. So Detroit was a lot of fun. You get guys that are going to win a couple races. That means a lot.
Well, next weekend, East Rutherford, New Jersey. There, you got a chance. Bogle sitting, I believe, 20 points behind Marvin Muskin. Not out of it, but you got an opportunity to maybe possibly win an East Coast championship.
Yeah, and he wrapped it up there last year too.
Another one,
and
right.
So for the opportunity to go back there and have that chance, and he's going to do everything he can. The guy's going to have it prepped, and maybe need a little bit of luck, but he's definitely going to be there at the front to push the guys. So.
Well, we're on the Jumbotron here. Jeremy, wave to everybody here at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, the inaugural race here. You know, it's going to be fun. The championship's wrapped up, but there's still a lot of racing to go, and you know those guys are going to be fighting for main event wins.
Well, that's just it. You get to the end of the year, and, you know, you're looking at next year for where your ride's going to be. A lot of these guys, they want to push. They really, really want to push, and, you know, to say that you're a 450 winner in Supercross means a heck of a lot on your resume, and so you're going to see a lot of guys banging bars, and this is a fun track.
Yeah, it looks good. Big triple, long start.
Big triples, gnarly whoop section. It's these guys are talking about it. If you don't think they are, they know what's going on out here.
Well, Jeremy, thank you for joining us on Race Day Live. Thank you for sponsoring our show. We work hard for you, but we couldn't do it without folks like you. And we're going to have Lynn, stay tuned. We're going to have Lynn Grooms. We're going to have Troy Lee joining us here in a little bit. Here's a word from our sponsors. Actually, I believe it's an AMSOIL commercial.
Oh, perfect.
What's up? I'm Cole Seeley, number 14, riding for the Factory Honda team, and you're watching Race Day Live.
And here we are back in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. And joining us now is AMSOIL's Lynn Grooms. Welcome to Race Day Live, man.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you, Lynn.
You've been busy, Lynn. Tell us about this new oil.
Yeah, after we talked last time about those dirt bike oils we put out, we got right back in the test facility in the dyno, and we started building ATV UTV products. Since ATVs have become so popular and UTVs are just going crazy, we needed some product that was specific to those machines. So we went right to work, because that's, as we know, what I do there at AMSOIL.
And that's a huge market for that UTV and ATV market there. I mean, a lot of guys in that Midwest have all those things and things like that. Are they harder on an oil than, say, a Supercross guy?
Well, I don't know that you want to compare what they do out there to that type of thing, but if they're very, very tough on product. They're heavy, and people put all kinds of different things on them. You got a roof, you got doors, you can put a plow or a winch, and people are making these things work. So that makes the fluids that are in them work even harder. So we have to do all kinds of different testing, stress type testing, where we're actually testing to failure at certain times.
Yeah.
Just to see what it can do and what it's capable of, because people aren't scared to beat these things.
How are some of those testings? How do you do those? Just go out and...
We'll do a couple different things. Sometimes we'll come up with a test where we'll stress it, where we'll put a huge pile of load on the thing, and then we'll make it work and work and work. Like, we'll make the engine run wide open just to stress the differentials. We'll put full load on the dyno just to stress the differentials in that thing and make them work harder than they normally would work, because they're tough on them, and they're not scared to say, I'm going to throw that extra pile of logs on there and hook that trailer to it.
Probably a few less oil changes with the UTVs sometimes, too. That oil's got to last a while, huh?
For some reason, they don't get maintained as well. People kick them in the garage, and they need them to work when they need them to work, and they don't think about them. These guys are changing oil more often.
Well, and you talk about testing out there, I mean, in different elements, too, cold as well as the heat, correct?
That's true. It's got to start. If you're going to use this thing in the winter where I'm from, it can be 20 below zero, and it's got to start, and it's got to be able to be used and work. But also, it gets hot there in the summer, so it needs to work in 20 below zero. It needs to work in 100 above zero.
Right.
So we test for that. We work in those conditions.
Well, Lynn, the last time we saw you in Phoenix, you just put out your new dirt bike oil, specially formulated for racing machines, and you've been testing that stuff on the tracks, on the Supercross tracks, and on the Babbitt's Kawasaki team. And how's that testing going for you with that new oil?
We have been. We found that in the arena cross, where it's very tight and it's very, very technical.
Yeah.
They're using the clutch a lot more. So we're finding that the product's working very well there, but they're very tough on clutches. We went from they were making a moto on a clutch to now they're making at least an evening on a clutch, so that kind of helped there. But the big piece of that oil was to give them that progressive lever for the start. So that when you compare the arena cross to the Supercross, they're similar there in that same type of start where you need that progressive lever feel, as you guys know, having ridden a dirt bike or two.
I mean, you wouldn't. It's not uncommon to see these guys practice and go through a heat race or whatever, and they'll put a new clutch in for that main event.
Exactly. So they're tough on the plates, and a lot of that has to do with rider, but there's a piece of it. There's a large piece of it we found through testing that have to do with the frictional properties of the oil. Yeah, it has to do it. You need that clutch to be there for you.
And what about sensors? I see a lot of the bikes, they have a lot of sensors on there. You can tell exactly what that rider's doing with the clutch. He says, oh, I didn't dump it. No, look at the computer. You feathered it. And that's harder on the oil, too.
Sure it is. The further they hold the clutch in, the further they feather it. And more importantly, when they get through a corner and they don't want to use a gear, they'll just bump the clutch, as you guys know. So that makes it slip. And they don't like to slip a whole lot before those plates go away, and then you lose your forward bite and you're not in the race.
Let me ask you, some of the guys, and Andy, they use the recluse clutch. Is it harder on the oils with using a recluse clutch as opposed to a conventional or a hydraulic clutch?
It's just different. That's all. You need to just be set up for it, and that can be said for many of the different plates that they use. Hinson has tons of different plates out. All these different manufacturers do, and you just want to set up, for that particular type of clutch. The oil is kind of your standard, and you just adjust the clutch. So in the case of the Recluse, you have to change a little bit of the weighting with our product, I've noticed. But other than that, it's been working like a champ in there.
That's awesome. And we have a Twitter question coming up for you, Lynn.
Yeah, for you, Lynn.
Oh,
Twitter.
really?
Is the Dominator premix an ester-based synthetic?
That's a direct formulation question that we actually get quite often, and we don't actually give those kinds of those informations out.
I was going to say,
what I can't answer
close
it,
to the chest.
Well, I can't answer it. I can answer it this way, in that when we go out, we look at the application. So in the case of the Supercross, you look at the bike, you look at the clutch, you look at the engine, and we build it specifically for that bike's needs, and we use whatever's at our fingertips. So if it's ester, as this person is asking, it's ester. If it's PAO, or if it's all these different technical terms that nobody cares about, we just use all the tools in the toolbox to get that product to do what that piece of equipment needs, in this case dirt bikes.
Well, but something else also, you not only oil, I mean all the lubricants and things like that, you guys supply those too.
Oh, of course. Not only does it we talk about the clutch and we kind of get singled in on the
forget
clutch,
about the chain lube that flies off or whatever.
Yeah, but there's a motor in there. There's a motor involved here too, and those things run crazy hot, 300 plus degrees they're running out there, so the product needs to live. It needs to keep the motor alive.
Well, let me ask you this. You're talking about motors now. I know on the Yamahas and other bikes, it's just the oil goes through the whole motor. But on Honda, they have just a separate lower box and up for the top, 2 different types of oil. Is that better?
It can be in certain situations where you're not dealing with any of the debris from the gears. You're not dealing with debris from the clutch that has to then run through the engine. So that can be a bonus there. It gives you a little bit more flexibility with fluids, obviously. If you've got a Honda, you can do different things, or I can do different things with the oil to get the clutch to feel differently than I can with, let's say, a Yamaha, because I need to think about the motor.
Going through the whole motor.
Exactly right. So there's some different things that you can do there when you have that separate sump.
Well, it's been a solid season for you guys with your new products and being able to test them with racing and being involved with teams that are winning races, And Lynn, I know you're a big fan, and look what's going on in our sport here just in this last week. Dungey wins the championship. Cole Seeley wins his first ever main event. We got 3 more to go. We're going to go to MetLife, Stadium next weekend. Do you think there's another winner out there in that 450 class?
Oh, there's got to be somebody in there, right?
I'm thinking maybe Jason Anderson. I mean, he's put in some good times today and
fast.
Stuff, so we'll see. He's got to be the next guy, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll be watching that number 3, though. You guys know why.
No. Wait, that's why I was asking you number 3. Now I got to ask you because you're the guru, right? What's happening with his starts?
Well,
last week were horrible on his starts.
I'm not going to comment on
that.
That's not my part.
It wasn't the oil, right?
No, it wasn't the oil.
It's not the oil.
No, that doesn't change.
Rider.
No, that doesn't change. They like the oil when we gave it to him, so if he slips a little, it is what it is, right?
All right. Yeah, that's.
Well, Lynn, thanks for joining us,
man.
Yeah, I
appreciate
it. Thanks for sponsoring the show and putting out a great product to make our machines last longer. I know everybody really appreciates that. We can't do it without oil, and it's glad you guys have an amazing product. Stay with us. We still got Troy Lee coming up. We're going to have Trey Canard drop in and say hello, and we're going to have MMI Top Tech Mechanic. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, what's up? Trey Canard here, wishing all you fans in Santa Clara a good night of racing. Also want to give a shout out to the HRC crew and wish them a good night as well. I'm on the PT mend. Things are looking good. Got full movement and waiting for the bone to heal, and then we'll be back at it. So hope to see you guys soon. Hope you have a good night in Santa Clara. Have fun with some Supercross.
Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by Amsoil. We're here with this week's MMI Top Tech Mechanic, Derek Dwyer, the first 2-time recipient of the MMI Top Tech Mechanic, also a graduate of MMI. You're doing pretty good, but man, you had to work hard today.
Yeah, I had a good one. I had broken bars, broken fork, 2 bent subframes, bent seat, broken exhaust. I mean, there was a list that just keeps going, but the Geico Honda guys and those dudes, they stuck behind me and they helped me out, to get this MMI Top Tech Award. But, the MMI going there, it really gave me the ambition and the drive to do what I wanted to do. And coming out here and getting the second one of the season, I mean, I'm glad I can pay those guys back as well.
How about your rider not giving up on you? Those were some pretty big crashes, man. He got you another podium, so it's a good night for you, Derek.
Hey, we come out here to win, but at the end of the night, I think we still won getting a third. And yeah, he hit his head a couple good times and took a good digger in the first time practice. But all in all, I mean, the guy's a fighter and he's a predator, they call him, and he doesn't give up on me or the team. So it's glad to be working with him.
Well, MMI Top Tech Mechanic, go to school, become a professional mechanic, get on the podium, be just like Derek.
And we're back in Levi Stadium here in Santa Clara, California. And join us is Supercross, motocross icon Troy Lee. Welcome to Race Day Live.
Well, thanks to be here.
Good to see you, Troy.
Yeah.
Man, you had a big transition in the offseason. You know, you've had your race team for a long time. You've been on Hondas for years. You switch over to factory KTM, and it's been a pretty good success. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, KTM's been treating us really well. Honda did too, but no, I'm just always want to keep moving forward every year here. And the opportunity came with Roger DeCosta, and I said, I want to go down this path here. I think it's going to be good for the team, and that's my job to try to keep making sure the team is 20% better every year. You know.
Yeah, you guys delivered right off the bat. Jesse comes out and wins the first main event of the season for the first maiden voyage for you guys with KTM. So that had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was couldn't be any better.
Right.
You know, Troy, I want to ask you, I was talking to Andy off camera, and I said, you know, when we first started out racing professionally, Troy and I, we hung out a little bit, but you rode a Husky. I know you're a KTM guy, but you got to be happy you're seeing Husky back in Supercross.
Yeah, well, I really rode KTMs too. I rode KTMs till Mitch Payton gave me a ride on Huskies, and then I went and rode Huskies for some of the outdoors and a couple of the Supercrosses and stuff. But just looked at some old photos, and I got pictures of me on both Huskies and KTMs and everything. So it's really cool.
Now you hired a guy, and I think he does a great job for you, Tyler Keefe there. He does a great job for you. How much hands-on are you with the team? Because I know you're busy with painting helmets and things like that and running a business and your clothing line and signing those big contracts to Cole Seeley. And congratulations on that win for you guys last weekend, because he
awesome.
won his first, but also he was in Troy Lee clothing. But you're a busy guy. So does Tyler kind of run that department for you?
Yeah, Tyler totally runs it. I mean, as the company keeps getting bigger and bigger, I just got to make sure I'm installing good people around me, that can do a better job than I can. And Tyler's for sure filling those shoes. And same thing, he's putting good mechanics around him and a good team around him. And it's almost nice when I come to the races. I can check in, do a couple things here, but then I get to sit back and watch the whole thing. We deal with a little bit during the week, but everything seems to be going the right direction, so I'm super happy.
You still pulling some Japanese painters from Japan to work for you? I know a couple guys have worked for you in the past.
Yeah, I think I have about 5 or 6 Japanese artists working for me. They're amazing, man. They really put their head down, and I love bringing another culture into our company, and it's really fun.
Pretty hard to get those visas, too.
We keep working at them. We got 3 or 4 of them going right now.
Yeah. Troy, it's cool. To me, I really admire it because, you're an artist first. You start putting a name and a number on a helmet, and then you walk down there in the pits and you see your 18-wheeler, you see your fleet and your employees and your team. It's got to feel really gratifying to grow so much like that, starting from something so simple.
Yeah, I always try to dream big, and it just seems like a lot of them keep happening, I think if you just keep putting good people around you and believe you can do it and marching forward, I think it can happen, and that's what's, I guess I got quite a few new dreams that I'm working on, and I just keep trying to make it happen.
A lot of people don't know that you manufacture the 7 gear for James Stewart, as well as the Fast Line with Kenny Alexander and those guys. Fast House, rather, with Kenny Alexander. We got a couple photos there. You got a big smile there.
Doing what you love.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
That's what's so cool back, look at all those helmets right there. I see Lamson, I see Glover. I think that's, is that Darrell Waltrip's up there with the Tide? And, your motto is the world's fastest racers. And across the spectrum in motorsports, you've painted some of the biggest legends in history.
Yeah, no, I love working with the NASCAR people and the IndyCar people, and just got done finishing a painting last week we're doing a painting for the program for the Indy 500. This is like another little step for me. I'm like, wow, this is cool, Doing the helmets for Notre Dame. Adidas helped us out with that program, and that was super cool too.
Those were cool.
Yeah.
What's the turnaround on a helmet? I know it depends on scheduling and things like that, but the average, what's an average if someone calls you up and say, look, we'd like to get a helmet done?
Yeah, we only do 15 a week. And right now it's about 2.5, 3 months. I mean, some of our even racers are complaining, but it's just we can't paint them fast enough, and there's still so much hand labor, and it's one of the funnest things that I get to do. It's really gratifying to sit down, draw a work order up, and just try to make one customer really happy,
Well, you made me very happy. In 1989, I got my first custom painted helmet from you, and I just remember looking on the schedule and crossing off the days, just waiting for that thing to show up. And I can still remember the way it smelled, the way it felt on my head when I first got it. It's just cool. And I know you've done that countless times, but there's nothing cooler than a custom painted motocross helmet. It's just the tip of the iceberg, man.
It's super fun. I just did two new helmets I just sent off to Lyle Lovett, and just got a really nice message from Lyle Lovett. It's just like, oh, this is so cool, it just really makes my day still.
It's something interesting I wanted to ask you. When I was a kid, I went, and I know your dad was a dirt track rider, and my dad was also, and I went with John Haley to Bell Helmets, and he got a helmet, and you know, he opened it up and it was brand new and it was painted. He automatically dropped it on the ground. He says it's good luck just to drop it on the ground.
Yep.
Do you do that? I mean, is that?
I don't do it to mine, but I know Wardy does that.
Yeah.
Osho does that.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the racers. Stanton used to initiate it.
I didn't do it with mine, man. No
Yeah.
way. Not my Troy Lee helmet. Do you have one that really sticks out? You know, with all the different guys you've done, like you just mentioned, you've painted everything. Is there one that you really sticks out as your favorite?
Not really, because every time I get done, I got a new idea, and I guess that's what keeps me going to my company. You know, I get done with it, and I still feel like, God, maybe I should have, you know, went left instead of right on it, you know? So it's just fun every week to go in and draw a couple helmets. I still feel like I get to be like a little kid, you know, still go back in there and color every day, you know? So it's really fun.
Let me ask you this. You did the Supermoto. You did that for a little bit, and then we got some photos up there. There's you and I at
Jim
at
Holly
Mammoth.
and Troy Lee, yeah.
Oh,
you know,
Mammoth,
rubbing bars there. But is that a release for you to kind of just break away from helmet painting and go out? I know you and Wardy go up to Mammoth, and you guys have a good time up there, and have a few drinks and some races, and just enjoy yourself.
Motorcycle racing, bicycle racing, all that's such a filter, man. It's like when you're out there, you can't think about painting helmets or anything else. It's just how to get through the next turn faster, you know.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you. Your bicycle and road bike. I mean, you're into that market also. I mean, did you sleep much at all?
Busy guy.
I sleep really good, but when I wake up, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Well, talk about your decision to go to MetLife Stadium next weekend. You know, Saturday at 3 p.m. with Shane McGrath jumping up to the 450. When did you guys decide to make that move?
Really, a lot of the international folks, the president of KTM, Stephen Pierre's coming in and everything, and he kind of he's seen our rig on paper and everything, but I think he just said, I want to see your whole program, you know. And I said, well, I'd love to be there if you want us there, you know. So just trying to take care of a sponsor, really. And then, of course, to go to New York, I'm going to take the family back there, and we rented an apartment for a week, and really looking forward to it. And Shane, we just said, no pressure on you. Let's just go have fun.
Yeah,
get your feet wet,
but
and
do really good.
Yeah. I don't want to tell them that. Just have fun,
Right.
and you know, I'm really looking forward to it.
Is this something next year in 2016, maybe a possibility you transitioning and having a 450 guy full time? Or?
No, we're going to let Roger Coster handle the 450s,
Okay.
and we want to just focus on doing a really good job in the 250 class.
Well, you're doing a great
You're
job.
doing a great
like
job,
you said, Shane McElrath last weekend, a second, and a second
that
the
was
week
awesome.
before that. Jesse Nelson leading the championship for a few rounds
Yeah.
there. Unfortunately, he had that injury and not with us today or last week. How's he doing?
He's doing great. Yeah, his back's a little sore, messed up his shoulder, hit his head, but he should be good. We just said, you know what, slow down. I think sometimes the sport's a little ruthless out there, man. It just keeps dumping them in, and we went, let's just slow down and focus on outdoor, because I think he can really make a difference out there.
Yeah, we got another photo coming up. There's Mammoth when we were all up there on the podium. It's pretty cool to get those bears when we're up there racing.
Yeah, I love Mammoth. It's neat to go fishing and ride motorcycles all in one.
Are you going to ride this year at Mammoth? I know you're coming off of a hip injury.
Yeah,
you got off at Glen Helen.
I still got a couple more months of therapy, so I think I might come ride practice a little bit, but we'll see. I'm more turning into the adventure rider, I think, here.
All right. I know Scott Bell enjoys going up there and stuff with you guys.
It's always fun.
Well, Troy, thanks for coming to Race Day Live, man.
No
And
problem.
congratulations
Good
on your
seeing
race
you.
team.
Thanks for having me up
Good luck
here.
in the championship next year. You guys came close this year.
Yeah,
So,
we'll keep swinging.
Hey, you weren't nervous up here, were you?
No, I'm good.
Tyler said you might have been nervous live or something. I go, nah, we're just up here talking, having a good time.
Especially with you. I've been around you for what?
Yeah.
30 years?
30 years plus, man. We've had good times.
That's cool.
Cool.
That's awesome. You know, and we got a spot coming up here that I'm sure you can relate to. It's about starts. Starts are pretty important, huh, Troy?
Very important.
Right.
Yeah, really. If you can get through the first turn, you know,
Right.
everything's the leader. Do you know how that is a Mammoth, man? So we all say, man, let's just get through this first turn at Mammoth here, and we'll be okay.
Yeah, we're over 50, and we still pile up at
Yeah.
Mammoth.
Right.
It's the scariest part.
Fox Sports got with some of the best starters in the business to figure out the best way to get a hole shot.
The start is key to the race. If you start in the front, it's a lot easier to stay up there.
Everyone's going so fast, so start is a crucial part to the race.
It can make or break your night.
After the checkered flag flies and the winner climbs the podium, they all talk about how the race began.
That whole shot was key. I knew it from the beginning, and we got out like a rocket ship.
Dungey goes right for the whole shot, and he's got it! In a race that takes nearly 20 minutes to complete, what is with this obsession over the first 5 seconds, from the gate to the first turn?
Time to get your elbows up, your attitude on.
We talked to some of the best starters in the business to break down the secrets of a good start.
The start is really key to your success for Supercross. It takes a lot of different elements to get a good start. You want to look for a gate that has a lot of traction and moisture in it.
Making sure the rut coming out is in good shape, and knowing that you can pack that rut and make it to, what you need it to be.
I've always picked condition over position. If one gate looks a little bit more tacky, either in front of the gate or past the gate, I'll usually go with that one.
With these panels that the promoter puts on for the sponsors, the wheel spins on that, and then as soon as the wheel gets in front of that, it digs a pretty big hole.
Traction is key. You gotta, hook the bike up right away, but then you can't have it spin across the plastic, so sometimes you back it down a little bit or pull in the clutch and then reapply the clutch as soon as the rear wheel gets over the plastic.
As soon as the car goes sideways, you have 5 to 8 seconds. Take a big breath into my belly, in through my nose, and out through my mouth, and then just focus on that gate and drop the hammer when it goes.
Wait until the board goes sideways, then you put the bike in gear. Focus on that reaction time and making sure that your reaction time is 100%. You get that jump on everybody.
Just waiting for the gate to flinch, and as soon as it flinches into your head, as you're letting the clutch out, your head straightens out, and your normally eyes go right to the first turn.
The whole shot goes to Baggett.
Everyone kind of has their own different routine or strategy. Definitely a nerve-wracking time.
There's so many things that go into play on the start. It's really hard to say that you have to do this one right, we have to do all of them right.
You're in the moment, you just react.
If you can stay over the front, stay on the gas, and get the wheel to bite, you're to the first turn pretty good shape.
From the gate to about 20 feet out is where you can really tell if you're going to be within the top 5 or if you're going to be buried.
It's definitely madness, but once you get all the way down there, everyone's braking and kind of see where you're going to be. You can see if there's a hole that you can kind of shoot through, and if you're way in the back and kind of in mid-pack, then it gets kind of chaotic.
It's the confidence, even though there's fireworks and 20 other dudes next to you and a lot of adrenaline pumping. I just go on my instinct.
Main event, drop the gate. Short with the whole shot.
Nowadays, corner speed is the name of the game, that's for sure. If you're not hitting the corners fast, you're going to be in the back of the pack.
Fighting their way into the corner.
Those corners, hitting those corners so good.
What do they say? Jump for show, corner for dough, I believe.
Those 90-degree corners are so tight, it's tough to pass, you got to guard.
The key to corner speed is a lot of momentum. We used to always think when I was younger that you go in as hard as you can, but a lot of times that'll mess up your middle of your turn and your exit.
Find a flow and get off the brakes and try to just roll the corner really fast.
The faster you go, the farther you have to have the bike leaned over.
It's balance, essentially you're on a lean angle on the tires and you want your center of gravity in the right spot.
Dungey's so good in his turns. His corner technique has always been exceptional.
Smooth in and in the middle and smooth off. Not getting too clutch happy is ideal.
Roczen making a mistake there, losing the front end.
Basically losing your front end, that's what we call my front end is washing out.
Too much front brake, just a loss of traction because of the dirt.
Maybe coming in too fast and you're still trying to make that corner, so you're holding the front end and trying to keep that traction there, but sometimes it's just you're right on that edge.
It's happened to me before where I start to wash and I know it's coming, but I can't do anything to stop it, and it feels like a minute goes by before I finally hit the ground.
Those whoops are the whoops there. Face of the whoop section. The hoops through the whoops.
Where did whoops come from, like the name whoops?
I've heard hoop-de-doos, whoop-de-doos.
Since I'm from Germany, we call it Waschbrett, and it means a washboard.
Does anybody have an answer for that one?
Oh, Pike, look how much faster he is through the whoops
Pike
there.
just manhandles that Yamaha.
Yeah, he does.
Massive, sketchy, crazy whoops. That's like what I like.
I tell you, that whoop section as the night goes on, it's going to get nasty because the bike's really moving around. You're getting a lot of side to side with the rear wheel. Once the bike starts to go sideways, that's when guys have some serious problems.
you kind of have to wrap your head around it, that you have to go in there with some confidence and commitment.
The faster you go into them, the faster and the easier it's going to be.
You know, because your rear wheel's in the air half the time, you can't really gain momentum or acceleration. So what you take in is what you get out.
You gotta attack them. They can bite you for sure if you drop your front wheel in them, or you just gotta be on the power and be strong.
Those whoops look like they're getting a little bit chewed up.
You get down in there and you start going through those things. They're a lot bigger than they look.
They're probably one of the most intimidating things on a Supercross track when they're built big and long.
It's hard to breathe, trying to adapt with it and go with it. It's kind of like riding a bull for 8 seconds.
They can be pretty technical sometimes. You know, there's a lot of big edges on them, and they can get hard packed, and your bike will start dancing around.
Being not a very tall guy, you know, there's not much room between my butt and the seat, so made a mistake. That seat was coming pretty quick.
My legs are short, so I got to make sure that I'm set up and really clean into them. A taller guy can just kind of send it in there and save it.
Start is key to the race.
If you start in the front, it's a lot easier to stay up there.
Everyone's going so fast, so start is a crucial part to the race.
It can make or break your night.
After the checkered flag flies and the winner climbs the podium, they all talk about how the race began.
That whole shot was key. I knew it from the beginning, and we got out like a rocket ship.
Dungey goes right for the whole shot, and he's...
And welcome back to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. The sun continues to come down, and also that means we got to do a little bit of track whip. Put some water down.
Just a little bit. I mean, you can see the guys back there, they've already put some of the water in. Some of the grooves on some of those transitions and timing sections, they'll get a chance after this final time practice to get out there and rework those groove sections. But right now, their main focus is to try to get some moisture into the ground, but not too much. You don't want to make it too greasy for the guys.
Yeah, and again, tonight, you know, what happens with the air here in Northern California, when the sun goes down, it's going to get slick again. That moisture is going to come out of the dirt.
Yeah, that marine layer comes in,
That's
you know, that sun drops, and that moisture comes up. So you really got to be careful. It's almost like a science, you know, to making one of these tracks work.
Oh,
I mean,
it's a total science.
Yeah.
You can't just, like that guy right there, he doesn't just arbitrarily spray in water out there. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly where to put it, how much to put down. It's, you know, not to go too big into it, but he knows he's a professional on the track.
Yeah, no, it's just, you know, they got them where they can just fan it. You know, you notice it's not like it's a fire hose, but and they're working off of the water truck there. And, you know, they'll run around and, you know, they'll work one side of the track and then they'll come back to it and let it soak in a little bit and then come back, put a little bit more on top of it. That was nice. Trey said hi to us. That's cool.
Good
Hopefully
to hear
he's
from
doing,
Trey. What a bummer, man. It was just one of those deals. Him and Jake Weimer both, you know. Got together in that semi on the first lap off the start, and a couple broken arms later, they're out of the 2015 Supercross series, but they'll be back. Those two are tough. They always do come back.
Yeah, and Weimer, like you said, it's just one of those things that, you know, he's trying to, you know, battle back. He lost that Kawasaki ride, and he's riding for Team Tedder and just trying to put in some good results for Team Tedder, and he had been. You know, it's just one of those things. But we always talk about it, Andy. You know, things happen in those last chance races and semis. You want to transfer out of those heat races, and you don't want to even try to get into those, because what happens is you got so many guys that have, and you come into it a little bit, you know, and guys will make mistakes, and you're in the air, and boom, you know, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's Supercross, man. You know, it's been a good season. We lost some guys, you know. We lost Dean Wilson, Justin Brayton, Weston Pike, Will Hahn. But for the most part, you know, I'm pleasantly surprised with how the season went. And it's too bad old Dungey just had to go out there and win 6 of these things and put the championship to sleep. But there's still racing to do. We still got guys that are winning their first main events like Cole Seeley. There's a lot of exciting things going on still.
Well, we could have here in Santa Clara, Levi Stadium, we could have, you know, Jason Anderson. He's looking
winner.
good. I mean,
That's right.
If he gets a start and rides his own race just like Cole Seeley did last weekend, he could win it.
He could win it. You know, last week we had the Toyota Tailgate Talk with 3 Palms Extreme. You want to talk about things going on. We got BMX, remote control cars. We have wakeboarding and, of course, motocross. But a really cool facility. It was a really cool interview. Check it out.
Jim Hawley, Race Day Live, brought to you by AMSOIL. Well, welcome to this week's Toyota Tailgate Talk. The man next to me, Emil Schabelman. Did I get it right now?
You got it right, finally.
I was nervous about that, but the owner of Three Palms MX, you guys do a great thing. The industry ride you had yesterday for the guys out here in Houston, Texas. A great facility, 255 acres out there, BMX track, 4 motocross tracks, but something new you have this year with the wakeboarding.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. You know, we have a full wakeboarding lake, and we're actually going to have a wakeboard national at our facility this year in October. But we also have the largest 6-tower cable system in America, and it's a very amazing facility as far as our water sports is coming along. And then we also have a 2.0 system, which is just a 2-tower system. It's really used for beginners, but we have a lot of ramps. The best way for me to describe it to you would be, this is motocross on water.
You know, I've had a chance to go out there to Three Palms a few years back. I went out there, I had a great time. I thought the layout of the tracks were perfect. I love the soil and everything, a lot of trees around there, just a great facility. But something else you do, you have the Pee-wee track, you have a beginner track, you have a lot of different variations of skill levels of riding there at Three Palms.
Yeah, we do, you know, and that's one of the cool things about the park is we have different skill sets, different tracks for different skill levels. And, you know, we have 8 different tracks there now. We have a BMX track, we're USA BMX sanctioned. We have a national caliber RC track, remote control track, and both of those properties have stadium lighting, RV hookups, air, water, everything. So it's really unique. And
there's one other thing I wanted to ask you. We were talking about all those tracks. When I was out there, Chuck Carruthers was out there. Do you still have the freestyle stuff out there? Because he was asking me, hey, Jim, you want to hit the freestyle ramp? I go, nah, Chuck, I better not.
Yeah, you know, we still have a super kicker out there. So, you know, guys like me and you may not want to ride that thing, but yeah, we still have a little freestyle going on too.
Something else you're doing this year, you're having a race on Sunday, the day after Supercross, all classes, and you'll have a big turnout tomorrow.
Yeah, usually, you know, the day after the Supercross, everybody's amped up. They want to go riding, and certainly that's one of our busiest days of the year. We have the day after race that will be held on our GP National track in the back of our property, and you guys don't want to miss it. Just, you need to come up, gear up with me.
All right, that website for people if they want to be interested. Hey, and you guys can still come out there and race. It's today we're in Houston at NRG Stadium, but tomorrow I want you to go head out to Three Palms, that website.
www.threepalmsesp.com.
And you've been doing this a long time. I mean, the promotion of Three Palms, I remember it. I mean, I lose track of time, but I thought it was just a couple years ago. It was probably 5 or 6 years ago. How long have you been doing the industry ride?
Well, we've been doing the industry ride day for about 8 years now. So I've actually been in the motocross business for about 25 years and been at Three Palms for 14, going on 15 years now.
Yeah, I know it's a good event because Rob Healy from InStyle and Stitch and all those guys, I mean, they bring out trailers and they say, Holly, just come out and bring your gear bag. You can ride one of our bikes and everything. And I saw Ken Howerton out there and we had some fun. Marty Tripes has been out there riding before. I mean, do you do any vintage stuff out there also?
We do a little bit of vintage stuff, you know. We're really trying to get into that with the ARMA crowd and get those guys out there, and so we'll see what happens. We certainly want to have those events out there, and our tracks are great for that.
All right, Emma, well, I'm going to let you go. I know you were busy in the pits. Well, that's it for this week's Toyota Tailgate Talk. Make sure if you're in Texas, in the Houston area, it's Conroe, Texas, correct?
Conroe, Texas.
Conroe, Texas, you go out and see Emil at Three Palms MX. Well, that's it. Make sure you check us out on supercrosslive.com.
My name is RJ Hampshire. I ride for Geico Honda Amsoil Factory Connection team, and you're watching Race Day Live.
And welcome back to Levi Stadium here in beautiful Santa Clara, California. We've said beautiful a lot today, but it's beautiful.
You're not going to wear it out.
It's awesome. This is the best weather of the year.
How about gorgeous?
It's gorgeous.
We could use gorgeous.
Best weather of the year by far. And we got a great night of racing coming up tonight. Jason Anderson's been fast. Eli Tomac's the fastest so far in 450A qualifying #1. We're getting ready to kick off the second round of qualifying. It's going to be exciting to see who's going to be the fastest this time around. Had Malcolm Stewart on the show. He might be the fastest this time. What do you think?
You know, I think so. I think he's, you know, in talking to him when he was on the show, I think that he's maybe found something a little bit faster,
He
make a
seemed
couple
pretty
of
happy,
yeah. He wants to win another one. I mean, I know Northern California's been good to him, and you know, hopefully he can win it.
You know, I'm just chuckling here because things were going this well for Malcolm last weekend until this point.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Till that heat race.
Well, the qualifying,
Yeah.
the second round of qualifying, he was the fastest, and man, went over the bars, and then the heat race went over the bars, and I didn't think he was gonna come back after that one. Then
And the thing about it is when he came back, you know, he didn't have a good start. He was buried
Horrible
in the
gate
back
pick,
of the pack. So, I mean, he worked up to get that third. He earned that for sure.
Yeah. You know, and Cole Seeley, you know, let's say the second half of the 450 season, you know, from Arlington on, he's been scoring more points than everybody except number 5.
Well, and I think, you know, he's got a good guy in his corner with Jeff Ward. Wardy helping him out there, and there's some of our fans out there.
Hey, guys, wave to the camera. You're on the Jumbotron.
Guys.
Getting a slushy handling
But with
right
having,
there.
you know, Ward in his corner, just
yeah.
just keeping him grounded and calm and stuff. Look, your time's going to come. And it came last weekend, you know, with that first win in Houston. And with that first win, you gain a lot of confidence.
Yeah, you talk about confidence. You know, it was cool having Ken Roczen and talking to him. He has a lot of confidence. I think that when he comes back for the outdoors, he's going to be just as salty as he was at the beginning of the Supercross season.
Yeah, I mean, salty, but not too salty.
Right.
I mean, you got to remember that that's a long 12 races, you know,
Yeah.
the elements you're dealing with, you know, 2 motos out there. And, you know, I think if Ken had it to do over again, maybe he might not have pushed so hard to get by Reed, you know, just kind of let the race come to you a little bit.
You could tell in his demeanor and his posture when we asked him that question. He's like, I know, guys. I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, no. I've never
Did
seen
not
a rider
wanna do
that
it.
says, yeah, I meant to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we're going to be back to practice action here shortly. Real quick, we want to thank our sponsors. If you want to win, MMI and AMSOIL have teamed up to give you a chance to win a replica of Kevin Windham's Honda CRF 450R Supercross bike. Go to www.winkevinsbike.com for your chance to win. MMI, the official technical institute of Monster Energy Supercross.
A couple weeks ago, we saw, you know, we talked about it with Adam Intignap on, you know, engaging that hole shot device. These guys got to engage it before they go out
that's
there.
the only time they get to practice the start. But big, long start. It's going to be some action going down there in the first turn.
Yeah,
a little
that's a
bit of
long
water
way.
on the track right now, so I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for.
Well, and you just roll it. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, your mechanic's got to tell you, hey, look, guys, it's no big deal. You know, let the
moisture soak into the
you
dirt.
got a little bit of time here. You got a 10-minute practice. Don't go out there and throw down the fast lap time right now. It's not going to happen. It's going to come towards the end of the race. Let the track work itself into shape.
This is 250C qualifying number 2. What do we got? 46 250 riders, so 6 of these guys are going home.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, you know, you look at that and, yeah, I feel bad for those guys. You know, you're thinking, well, maybe they could just sneak behind the back, and as the guys take off, that maybe they can get a chance to jump in behind them to give them some more practice, because that's what it's all about in these C groups is more practice, more time on the track.
Yeah, as long as you're in the fast 40.
Yeah.
It's practice and qualifying, but you got to make it into the night show. So that's tough, you know.
Well, and a lot of these guys, like we saw Vicky Golden in Indianapolis, you know, if you're 41st or 42nd, you know, position, you line up and get ready for heat race just in case somebody, you know, gets ill or something, or a mechanical or something. He's not going to be able to line up. You can kind of slip in there. So you got to remember that just because you're not 40, don't go undressed. You're 41, 42, even 43. You stay dressed and prepare yourself to go out there for a heat race in case you get the opportunity to go out there and ride.
That's right. Like Vicky, we saw her in the tunnel in Atlanta. She was ready. You know, she missed it by 6/100ths of a second. And it's just a bummer, and she was so close. But it's cool. She stayed after it. She's still here promoting the sport. Comes all the way out here to Santa Clara, California, and rides press day. She's going to join us here on Race Day Live and help us do our picks. So, good racer right there. I really like Vicky Golden.
Well, and I think she got a great opportunity to, you know, do the press day and get an opportunity to ride a Supercross track on the West Coast here. That it's going to help her next weekend. You know, like I said, next weekend we're going to be in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Fox broadcast is going to be at 3 p.m. on that East Coast, 12 out west. And like I said, the Fox Broadcasting Network, not Fox 1, not Fox 2.
Fox Broadcasting Network, that's right. The big one.
You know, and if any of the people are in New York listening to Race Day Live and you got an opportunity to come out on Thursday the 23rd, 12 noon.
Grand Central Station.
Let's be there. I mean, I'm going to be there.
I'm excited, man.
When
It's
you
my
flying
first
in,
time.
by the way?
Wednesday.
I'm flying in Tuesday.
You got to take me around.
Yeah, we'll have a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing a friend of mine, Michael James, kind of going through a little bit of hard times right now. He crashed on his bicycle and lost his job, and his landlord's, you know, on him to pay the rent and stuff. I told him, hey, you're coming to East Rutherford. You need to, when you're in a funk like that, you need to get out of it. You need to come
Go to the
enjoy,
Supercross and have a good time.
Come to the Supercross and enjoy and have a great time.
I'll tell you,
now you can see some of the guys starting to get a little bit more, you know, out of that timing section there. They're not getting that wheel spin with the mud and everything.
Pulling the trigger, so like we like to say. That's 397 Schreier. I believe that's in our screen right now. Yeah.
That's nice too with a minute. A minute point one. Yeah.
By
and he's on a Suzuki.
3 seconds. There's a Suzuki, right?
He's on a Suzuki.
I haven't seen one of those for a while in the 250 West.
Lindbergh also sitting in that third. He's on a Suzuki. So that's pretty cool to see a couple Suzuki 250 classes in there. I know I was talking to Danny Lowers the other day, and you know, Marty Smith helps the Strict Racing, and they're going to go talk to Pat Alexander over at Suzuki and maybe try to get some Suzukis in the main event.
Absolutely. There's number 145 in your screen right there. I think that's 145, isn't it? Yeah, it's Mr. Smith. It's a big guy.
Talk about Smith. I saw Rodney Smith. He was actually over here.
NorCal legend, Rodney Smith. Yeah, I lived up here for 5 years, and I'd go ride at Club Moto and Oakfield, and Rodney Smith would just show up out of nowhere and be faster than everybody there. You know, every pro that was riding on practice day, he'd wax him.
Yeah, Rodney's a great guy, great ambassador for the sport, and he's getting honored tonight here at 6 p.m. From the Legends and Heroes, Alex Morris, and good to see Rodney Smith. Went over to Europe and competed in the GPs over there.
World Championships,
multi-time Brazilian national champion.
Very, very cool. And the AMSOIL products that help put racers in the winner's circle are the same products available to you. AMSOIL makes a full line of oils not only for your power sports toys, but also for the cars and trucks you drive. Choose AMSOIL Performance for any engine.
There's our boy leading the fast time right now, Schreier there.
Schreier, he's fastest by 2 seconds. Well, there's Burns, 574. Burns jumps up there with a 1 minute flat. So Schreier's still got these guys covered by a good second.
Yeah, except for Berger.
There's our spider cam view right there. Very, very cool. I like that. I believe, yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice shot when you can you zoom in and zoom out, and just it's like you're on top of the guy on his back going through those sections. Yeah, this one's starting to, you know,
winding down. We got a little under 5 minutes to go.
I guess I owe you a buck, Andy. They didn't change that triple over there on the right-hand side of the track. They're still hucking it over there. That's going to be an interesting section, though. We talk about that triple, you know.
Yeah.
If you can get underneath a guy and put a block pass.
He ain't going to be able to jump triple.
No, and neither is the guy who made that triple. I don't see too many guys practicing that, you know, like going in and just, you know, making
I
the
think
turn.
we're going to see it later here. But like you say, I haven't seen him in practice, Jim. No, you're right. But I think in the heat races we're going to see it.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in, you know, trying to. There's one rider now. He's getting a chance to do it, practicing, you know, getting underneath guys and things like that.
Once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to Race Day Live here for round 15 in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Thank all you international viewers for tuning in. It's great to be able to talk to you guys and talk about practice and talk about fastest qualifier. See who's going to get the #1 gate pick. We're just trying to get you guys fired up to tune in to Fox Sports 1 tonight to see round 15 on the television. It's going to be awesome. Can Cole Seeley make it 2 in a row? Can Weston Pike get on the podium? Is Ryan Dungey going to slow down after winning the championship?
Is Jason Anderson going to win his first in that 250?
Right.
And you mentioned Weston Pike on the podium. I'm thinking maybe Weston Pike to win.
He's fast enough.
He can do it.
He can do it, yeah. He was fastest in, not fastest, but he was definitely quick in qualifying today. Got a huge crowd already turning out, too. Why wouldn't you want to come over to Levi Stadium? This place is amazing. You know, you got the mountain, you know, the mountain backdrop in the background.
I like the fans that come in. It says, we love 22 Chad Reed. You know, they bring their signs in. I think that's pretty cool and stuff. That's nice. little kids get a chance to, design their signs and things like that.
I spent a lot of time on that one right there. Maybe those guys might. Yeah.
Oh, we got another one too. There's another one there. Another Chad Reed sign that his little guy.
Yeah, he's got.
We need to have him walk behind the camera and show.
With just about 2 minutes to go, it's still Schreier out front. He just got faster at 57.7, so he's back to 3 seconds faster than the entire 250C qualifying field so far.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. If you look at that, he's going to get a good gate pick, for that main event. There's the sign.
There's our signs right there.
It is. Right there. Where's the other one? She's got to turn it around. Let's see the other one.
There you go, sweetheart. Hold that
up. There's the camera right there. There she is. Look at that. We love Chad Reed. We like
Welcome
those
to
signs.
Supercross.
Yeah.
Best fans in the world, man.
Well, and they're just happy to come see the rider. I mean, it's like no other sport. I mean, you can't come here and watch a San Francisco 49er game and get Colin Kaepernick's autograph. It's just not going to happen.
No.
But you can come here and get Ryan Dungey's autograph, or Chad Reed, or Cole Seeley,
Ken
or
Roczen.
any of the guys.
Right. Malcolm Stewart. There's only 3 rounds to go, but 2 after this one. But if you make it out to a Supercross, stop by Race Day Live. You never know what's going to happen. We might put a headset on you and ask you some questions. It's happened before.
Yeah, you never know. That'd be pretty cool to do that. And make sure you sit out by the merchandise. I mean, a lot of great merchandise here. I was over there earlier, and I looked at some of the some of the T-shirts that they have. They're incredible. Great designs.
I want to send a particular shout out to our diehard fans on live stream: Rick Storms, John Motto, and Larry Parks. Thank you guys for tuning in to Race Day Live. Obviously, these guys are leaving some favorable comments in the comment section, so I hope they are.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's been a good show today. Had some.
I'm
great
wondering
guests.
if those guys are going to be in New York next weekend.
Right. Well, they're going to be with us on Race Day Live. Obviously, these guys. So, going to be exciting. MetLife, East Rutherford, New Jersey, right next to the Big Apple. 3 p.m. on Fox Broadcasting Network. I want to hear that song that they play before football. Then dirt bikes. So
yeah, drop the clutch and hammer out down there. A great event last year. It's been a while since we've been back to East Rutherford, New Jersey. I remember I got a chance to, when I was racing in my career, to race there a couple times and things like that. I really enjoyed it. A lot to do in New York and East Rutherford too.
What is there, 3 million people there, Jim? Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Checkered flag is out on 250C qualifying number 2. Schreier, he was the fastest the whole way through that section, and 2 seconds faster than Gills, who dropped a fast time there at the end, followed by Berger, Perry, and Burns. That's your top 5.
Yeah, and I think all those, the next group coming up, the B group, I think when they go out and go past the B, they should all give them a high five, because these guys working in the track now.
Yeah,
B group's going to have a great.
Yeah, the track's perfect right now.
Perfect right now.
It's
for
all
those
tacky.
Guys.
Yeah, we got some fresh water put down, and
yeah, that's.
Right.
But I mean, if you look at some of those times, like you said, a 57.7, a 58.9 right there, those guys, that's respectable. I mean, they can get that bike into the main event.
It still blows my mind to think about the fastest time that we've seen today. I think we saw a 50 flat.
Yeah.
Wow, that's getting around this track.
Yeah,
really
and don't think that maybe they can't dip it into the high 49s. Maybe Anderson or Tomac or one of those guys, Dungey.
Get some better lines in the whoops. Get some better lines in the corners. Start scrubbing the triple a little bit more.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised that if during the night show, during a heat race or something, that someone sets a fast time or in that main event, because that's usually what happens.
Track's perfect.
The track's excellent there.
Yeah. And the weather's beautiful. I'm going to say it again for the 100th time today. But no, we got
a little bit windy though.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the TV. Hopefully it doesn't blow over.
It's getting pretty close there. But a little bit of a breeze. It's about that time in the afternoon.
That's hard though. That like you said, when anytime you got the sun and the wind blowing and stuff,
it's a heck of an
it dries
obstacle
out
for
that
the track crew to keep that thing tacky, and it looks perfect right now.
Yeah, no, they're doing a great job.
I'm already starting to think about my picks tonight.
You thinking?
I'm already thinking about it. Yeah, I haven't been very good. I was on a roll there for a while. And
you think maybe a first-time winner you might pick?
I want to say it. Jason Anderson, he's been fast today, and he's finished second. He finished second in the first race of the season.
Yeah.
But Cole Seeley, man, it wouldn't surprise me if Cole Seeley goes out there tonight and wins again. He's been really on a mission. He's getting good starts. Loves his motorcycle. Says it's it couldn't be any better for him. You know, Dungey's got the championship wrapped up, so, you know, he says he wants to win, but hey.
But every time we say that and we pick Dungey like on a third or something, or he ends up winning the event.
Right. I know, yeah. That's what I mean. I'm serious about my picks. We only got 3 more chances to do our picks, and I kind of want to beat you, Jim.
You want to run the gauntlet. You want to. Oh, there goes the
250B. Qualifying number 2 is on the track.
Now these guys can put the hammer down right now because the track's in that type of a condition where you want to lay down a fast lap time. Wasn't like that for the C guys.
Now it's a little greasy, but that's all right. It's going to dry out quick with this breeze coming and the sunshine coming down. Definitely going to dry out. And folks, AMSOIL is the official oil of Loretta Lynn's AMSOIL Arena Cross and Monster Energy Supercross. It's not only the official oil, but AMSOIL products have been tested in the most extreme conditions at the track and on the trail to ensure they are formulated for superior dirt bike performance. Get out front performance, get AMSOIL.
Well, Church, he's up to that third right now on that Kawasaki. I'm looking down this field here. I don't see a Suzuki in this one. I saw a couple in the C group, but
yeah, great to see him. Some of the guys that were fast in this 250B group here. Semino's fast out there.
Watch this replay here. You're going to see he just came up a little short right there.
Oh,
he saved it though. He hit that Kawasaki tough block, just kind of dropped it down. You know,
yes. That had the makings of something very ugly, and he saved it there. So,
yeah, very good. Very good save for that rider. Who was that? 217? Was that
247?
247.
I believe that's,
Ryan Freet. He did it. That was Dalzell there.
Yeah.
Good save by Dalzell.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. As they complete their first lap there, these guys are just getting back up to speed because that's a 1:03 lap time. Well over 10 seconds slower than the guy that was fastest in the 250C group. So
yeah, they gotta pick it up. I mean,
loosening up. Yeah, finding their flow.
You gotta remember that. You know, it's very hard for these guys to come out and they take a little bit of a break and to get that adrenaline flowing again. You know, a lot of these guys don't have what the factory guys have, spin bikes and things like that to get your heart rate up and this and that. You know, they might jog out in the.
Isn't that crazy? Can you remember being in that good a shape, Jim, when you actually had to work out before you work out? I would be done. If I did the spin bike, that'd be it. I couldn't race.
Couldn't race. That was it.
That's all she wrote. I gotta work on that. It's my goal this summer. Get back in shape.
Well, you got a full-time job now, though. It fell.
Yes.
It's gonna take a lot of the time.
I'm gonna be a little busy.
Here's what you do. How far is the office from your house?
It's gonna be close. So
what? 10 miles?
Probably
away?
10 miles. Yeah.
Just jump on a bicycle, ride to work, ride it back.
You're gonna be that guy that has to pedal to work.
Yeah, one of those guys.
It's pretty.
You get off and you got your.
It's kind of
a lot of the guys
Florida,
do it here in the San Francisco area. Well, then do it. Have 2 bicycles and put one. You know, and just ride home from work. Just ride home from work. Take your car down there and drop a bicycle back off there, and then you can just, you know,
gotta
ride
do
back.
something, man. It just had a birthday, you know, and I want to remind everybody it is Jim Holly's birthday today, so happy birthday, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. But
you know what the nurse said when I was getting those IVs? She goes, "That was your birthday gift, sticking you with the needle." I said, "Thanks."
Boy, I've definitely had better ones. And with about 6 minutes to go here in 250B qualifying number 2, it is Trevor Rice is the fastest so far.
Yeah, look at Rice now in that 55.7 right there.
55.7, yes he did.
Howell with a 59.9, so they're starting to drop now, but like you said, they still got 6:20 to go in this final B practice here.
That's going to shake up quite a bit. On through the top 5 is Yarborough with a minute flat, followed by Williams and Dalzell. That's your top 5 here at 250B qualifying number 2. Camera is on Trevor Rice right now, though. It looks good out there.
Yep.
R-E-I-S. It's Reese or Rice? I'm kind of swinging in the dark there, but I believe it's Reese. Rice.
We'll have to ask him.
Well, we'll definitely have to get on top of that. Another guy on a Yamaha there. It's a pretty common theme in the 250 West this season.
A little bit sad now for these guys. This is the last time they'll go out for a time practice this year. They're going to have to wait till 2016. They'll finish out they're the 40 fastest. They get an opportunity to go into a heat race, and they don't make it in the top 9 in 2 of the heat races, then they'll have a last chance where they take 4 guys out of there to get the 22 riders for that final main event. of 2015. Oh, look at this pileup we have here. Yarborough there went down there, and some of the Asterix Mobile Medical crew. That's that section where you got that little bit of a break in between the whoops. You make that right-hander, you go down through the whoops, and then you got that double right there. And sometimes you don't have if you're not blitzing on the top of those things.
They'll get you.
Yeah. And you got some more after that. Tough section there, the whoops tonight. They don't look that tough, but they're tough.
Yeah, having to stop right in the middle of it and do that wall, you know, we can't see the front of that wall from our camera view, but it is straight up and down. So you're coming from those whoops, slamming into that wall, then going right back into some more big whoops. So tough track here. I like the track.
How about some of those walls we saw in Atlanta where you come back on, and some of the guys, Trey Canard,
sending it. Yeah.
Sending it.
Yeah.
You might see something like that here tonight in that last chance race, the last lap.
Triple into the whoops off the wall.
Guy might pull the trigger and send it.
Another thing that blows me away about this track, when they get over to that section again, that whole rhythm lane right there, Jim, it's 100 yards, and they land 3 times. Double, triple, done. It's
in and out. I mean, that's the best way you want to do it. Just get in and out. Just, you know, kind of float in there, hit it again, get out of there, and one more time, and you're done with it.
It still just blows me away, the ability of these new 450 and 250 four-stroke machines have so much power, and the riders have gotten so advanced. And, you know, just look at the guy there throwing it flat over the triple. I believe that's number 243, Dalzell.
Yeah, he's got the rider straight in front of him there. He's got to look at and, you know, keep an eye on him.
As the fans continue to pour in here in Levi Stadium, want to thank everybody for coming out here for round 15 of Monster Energy Supercross. Practice and qualifying is underway. This is qualifying number 2. B group is on the track right now, and after this, we're going to have the A group, the fastest guys. We're going to find out who's going to get that number 1 pick for the heat races tonight.
Well, remember, it's interesting when you have the fastest heat, you get that second heat race because the Dirtworks Feld track crew and the Dirtworks guys, they get out there and they kind of groom it up, and they want that first heat race to kind of work it in, and therefore
so you get rewarded with your fastest by getting heat number 2.
Get that first gate pick, figure out where you want to go, if you want to go next to the doghouse. You know, that's interesting, that tower you see. Once they come over the Monster Energy finish line, you're going to see a little bit of a tower, and that's where all the team managers are there with the headsets, and they're relaying information back down to the mechanics, you know, in the mechanics area, because when you're down on the floor, you can't see nothing. You got to get up into that mechanics area, the team manager's tower there, and kind of relay down some information, and, you know, they're telling them sometimes what to put on the board.
And then the other smaller tower here, Jim, just after the finish lines, explain to folks what's going on there and who's in it.
Yeah, I'd say AMA officials, you know, they're just kind of looking for some infractions and things like that. Then, you know, John Gallagher's up there, you know, if someone's riding rough or something, they might talk to him.
The principal's office.
Yeah, the principal's office. They don't have a paddle in there. They just have they just have a open checkbook, and you write them a check and deposit to the AMA and the FIM. And, you know, a lot of those fines that people don't realize, they go to the Asterix Mobile Medical Unit to help fund the Asterix Mobile Medical Program.
It's good. It's where money should go, especially for helping you this morning.
Yeah. And May LaRocco, you know, this is her last year, and Big Mike, their last year at Supercross. They're retiring, but she's got a little swear jar in the office.
Yes.
And if you swear, you got to put your dollar in there, and that money goes to the Asterix Mobile Medical Unit also.
It gets kind of full down there in the show office, the old swear jar does. Fills right up. Well, with just about a minute to go, it's still Trevor Rice. He's been the fastest the whole practice. He's a 54.9, followed by Gelderda. He's at a 55.8, so he's about a second slower than Ulrich, Breesy, and Ursith. Round out the top 5 so far. Minute to go. It's going to shake up a little bit, but I don't think anybody's going to touch that 54.9 by Trevor Rice right there.
Yeah, and one of the guys you're seeing down in 17, Yarborough right there, he had a little problem. We saw him get off in the whoops there. His fastest time, a minute .4. So somebody's not going. 6 of these guys are not going, and that's going to be a bummer.
That's why we run the races, man. It's competition. We don't hand out blue ribbons to everybody just for competing, man. That's why it's called why it's called a race. That's why we race. Right now we're not racing, we're just practicing and qualifying, but tonight, Fox Sports 1, going to be a good show, round 15.
Yeah, when they do the introductions, opening ceremonies, that's when
wait.
you really
Can't
start.
wait,
Then
man.
you know.
Yeah, it's going to be
coming.
good.
It's coming.
Going to be good. I love seeing the opening ceremonies, 15 rounds of them, and they switch in new videos and stuff, but I just like seeing the kids and the fans, and I've seen it 15 weeks in a row, and I get fired up. You just can't help it.
Well, the guys, the pyro guys, they do such a fabulous job. And
we need to have the
think
pyro
about
guys on the show.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Think about what we can do in an open air stadium now. We're back in the open air stadium, so we're not in the confines of a dome or anything anymore. So they're gonna
bring out
they're gonna get wild
the
here.
heavy
that's for
artillery.
Sure. Yeah,
that is going to do it. 250B qualifying number 2. Trevor Rice is the fastest, followed by Jill Derrida, Ulrich, Breesy, and Ursith. Up next will be 250 qualifying number A. We have Malcolm Stewart out there, Cooper Webb, Shane McElrath, Josh Hansen, Alex Martin, Zach Osborne. On down the list, we're going to see who's going to get that number 1 gate pick in the last 250 West race of 2015. They're going to wrap up their championship. Cooper Webb has the number 1 plate, but Shane McElrath's finished second 2 weeks in a row. Maybe he wants to get up there and knock on that number 17's door.
Well, I think it's with him. If he can get up there, and then next weekend he's going to ride a 450, in East Westford, New Jersey, and then he's going to come back to Vegas for that East-West shootout. He's peaking at the right time, I think.
Right. Well, speaking of peaking at the right time, it's the highlight of our show. The 250A and 450A qualifying number 2s are coming up. But for right now, let's have a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. And we're back at Levi Stadium here in Santa Clara, California. The wind's picking up a little bit, but that's okay. The highlight of our show is coming up. 250A, 450A qualifying is coming up. Who's going to be the fastest?
Well, it's okay for us if the wind comes up. I don't know about the riders. Sometimes, you get up on that triple back there behind us and, that wind's blowing through and it kind of, you feel it a little bit.
I think we're in the wind tunnel here where we're sitting. The bleachers are blocking the wind down there on that big 75-foot triple. I'm going to call it 75 feet this week. You think I'm safe there?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. Could even be 80. I mean, it's huge. I don't want to go over it.
You wouldn't send it on the triple?
I might.
You could. I was gonna say, yeah, that's what I was saying. Jim's not feeling too good today, but he's doing good. Soldiered up.
There's the boys coming out.
250A qualifying number 2 coming up next. Justin Hill was the fastest guy out last time. Could be a good night for Justin Hill. He's had a rough 250 West Series, had a broken foot in San Diego, had Oakland in the bag, and then had an unfortunate crash. He could turn it all around with the win tonight. Nothing cures pain like winning, period.
Yeah, you're only as good as your last race.
Well,
so
that's
if you win it.
It's another one. Going to be exciting. Cooper never seems too animated about getting the fastest qualifier.
It's probably like Kenny Roczen, when Kenny was on the show earlier tonight. He doesn't really mind. But Shane McElrath, he wants to be out front right away.
Jumping out there with Justin, and I believe that's Alex Martin there following him, and then Chris Aldridge and Aaron Plessinger.
Yeah, too bad Tyler Bowers, the 4-time Amsoil Arena Cross champion, not with us due to some
illness
there.
Feeling
so,
good.
yeah, hopefully he gets that worked out for the outdoors.
Yeah. Maybe he went to dinner with you last night.
No. I wouldn't wish that on nobody.
Oh, my Lord. I'm sorry about that. Plessinger's had a good season. Had a podium. I believe he hole shot Anaheim won. No, he didn't hole shot. He just came through the pack and ended up 5th.
Yeah, no, he rode well.
Ricky Carmichael rode to Supercross graduate.
Had a 4th last weekend. Not bad for him.
Right.
I mean, he wants to see where he's at in the points there. He's sitting 6th in the points there. Like you said, that 4th, last weekend in Houston there, but he had that podium at Anaheim 3 where he finished up 3rd. But not too bad. The only problem he had was that one in Anaheim where he only gained 8 points there. That was a little bit hard for him.
He's a rookie. He can have a couple throwaway races.
Yeah.
He'll be back next season.
But he's got an opportunity, I think, if I'm not mistaken here, to pass Tyler Bowers and move up to 5th because Bowers has got a 105 and he's got 99. But behind that, like you said, McElrath is only 8 behind Osborne there. So that's a good fight right there. I mean, and then 2 behind Jesse Nelson. He's 2 behind his teammate, but he's not here. And then Bowers is 3 behind. So an opportunity for some of these guys to move up in this final race.
You know, they're all doing the math. They're all thinking about it. They want to finish as high as they can in the standings as possible, for sure.
Well, that's more money. I mean, we should ask Troy when he was on how much he's paying Shane McElrath if he finishes up in second in the points or third.
Right. Well, Shane's jumped up to the top here in the early going in 258 qualifying number 2. A 54 flat. Well, spoke too soon. There goes Justin Hill with a 52.5. Wow, now that's a lap. 52.5. In the early going, it's Justin Hill, Shane McElrath, Aaron Plessinger, Zach Osborne, and Jackson Richardson are the top 5 so far.
Well, and you talk about Justin Hill when he was, talking with Ashley Phillips down there on the podium. He said, hey, I don't want to change nothing on my motorcycle.
Mike's perfect.
He can go back out here. He knows.
Yeah.
You know, when you go back there, sometimes as a rider, it gets into your head. They make changes. You don't know how the bike's going to react. He knows how it reacts, and he's showing today. Might have to put him on his first win of 2015 here at the final round.
Justin Hill?
Levi Stadium. Yeah, if he dominates this next practice, but, it's that start. You got to get the start.
Definitely have to get to this. Is a big, long start, too. Oh, no, we got somebody down hard in the whoops.
Yeah, they got some of the yellow flags down there. They're okay. They're just going to go around, and they don't have the red cross flag out. They're just well, yes, they do. Spoke too soon. You're going to see some of the guys here when they go by. You'll see that there's the yellow flags right there.
Yeah. Never a good place to crash. Those are big whoops, too. Politelli. It's like number 981, Austin Politelli.
And he had that heat race win last week. But then he had problems in the main event.
Had a big crash.
Yeah, big crash.
Something happened. Right.
He had another big crash here, and we had him on the show last week, and Terry Beal sent a nice email and said, hey, man, we need him on the show more often. He got us a win.
Well, he had a great cause he was racing for last weekend with Racing for Autism and with the special graphics and his hauler and everything, and did a good job on the show.
There's Malcolm right there, navigating his way around the track here. He's kind of rolling. It looks like he's trying to get an opportunity to lay down a heater.
Let's see. I think he's going to right now.
But he already laid down a heater, though. 51.7.
He did.
He's leading it.
51.7. Him and Cooper. We said it was going to shake up, and it's done just that. Your top 5 right now. Malcolm Stewart, Cooper Webb, Justin Hill, Shane McElrath, and Aaron Plessinger are the top 5. I believe we got a red flag on the track right now. So
they're going to shut this one down. These guys are going to restack it up again here in the Asterix Mobile Medical Unit. They're down there with the rider, and hopefully he's okay. But they still got about 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this practice. And, we've seen this a lot, Andy, this year. There's that wide shot that we always like to have, and you can see the guys kind of lined up there talking to the mechanics. And I believe that shot's a GoPro shot. Wow. It's a nice shot.
We're going to keep our thoughts and prayers with Austin Politelli right now. Went down hard in the whoops.
Saw Terry Beal. He was in here watching. Maybe we can try to.
Definitely seeing some movement over there. So I think he's getting up on his feet. Let's give him a round of applause right there. All right.
He got back up. He's good to go. He's walking off slowly.
It's never good crashing in the whoops. Hate crashing in the whoops. There's no good way to do it. Every time you hit the dirt, it's on the face of something, or you're cupped out down the bottom, or your bike hits you, or all 3.
Yeah, he's gonna get a ride back in that Asterix Mobile Medical mule there.
Unit. Yeah.
Eddie Casillas probably driving it.
And once again, our top 10 right now with 6 minutes to go still in 250 group qualifying number 2. Malcolm Stewart, the Heat. Followed by Cooper Webb, Justin Hill, Shane McElrath, Aaron Plessinger, Alex Martin, Jackson Richardson sitting 7th. Austin Politelli, our guy that's brought out the red flag, is fast again. He's 8th quickest. Zach Osborne 9th, and Tommy Hans 10th fastest.
Yeah, and if you look down there, you're going to see 15th. Josh Hansen hasn't recorded a time. No laps out there. I wonder what's wrong with Josh Hansen. You see the number 100 down there?
Yeah, all the way at the bottom. It's still early in the going. Still got 6 minutes. He probably didn't feel his flow yet and wasn't ready to go out and crack off a heater.
Well, and he could be out there. I mean, you never know. Sometimes they're transponders. They come off or something, the zip ties that hold them on, and then you don't get to record a time. Got to have that transponder on there.
There we go. We are back underway. Once again, 6 minutes to go still in this practice, and Malcolm Stewart with the 51.7 is the fastest so far. I don't know, man. Maybe the magic of the Bay Area is going to work its magic on Malcolm. Won in Oakland. It's been fast.
He's going to have to get that start, though.
Gets a good start, keeps it off the ground. Malcolm can get the job done. I'm telling you. Happy guy. You know, it's always fun interviewing guys that are just have such a good vibe like that. I'm telling you, back in the day, Malcolm was racing, and he was at Loretta Lynn's and some of the big amateur nationals, and he just, didn't care. He was just having fun.
There's Josh Hansen right there. Let's try to get him on and ask him what happened.
That's his, that's Cass Lou. That's his mechanic.
No, he's right ahead of him.
Yeah.
He's right next to him.
Oh, yeah, it is. I stand corrected, Jim. He's not out there. I wonder.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him what happened. Hopefully
he's okay.
Our producer, Stretch Kessler, can run over there and just grab him and throw him on the show. He'd love to see what happened with the number 100. He's one of those guys that, last weekend he had had to come through the last chance race to get that bike into the main event. And last weekend he got a bad start in the main, but finished up 11th. And, before we went to that break, he had a 4th. He was looking for an opportunity to, put that Kawasaki number 100 on the podium. But, he walked up fine. He looked fine as he was, walking. So maybe he just opted not to ride this last time practice. Maybe save some energy. Maybe he's got an injury. Well, hopefully we can get him on real quick.
Eric Cooper just completed a lap there, and
Plessinger
51.8. 51.8. We're getting the thumbs up that Josh is going to come talk to us here. We'll figure out what's going on with the 100. Malcolm drops it down again, 51.1. So Cooper and Malcolm Stewart are having a little bit of war here. It's 250 Group A qualifier number 2.
Yeah, they're going back and forth. 51.1 and 51.8.
That's 7
tenths.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Stewart.
a lot of time to make up with, a little bit of time we have left. 3:35 now.
Malcolm just destroyed that right-handed berm after the rhythm lane. Wow, I don't know if he dropped his time. No, it was a 51.16, and before that he ran a 51.10. So those are two really close, consistent laps right there. He's feeling it.
Yeah, and usually when you go in there, and you blow up a berm like that, you lose a lot of your momentum. You want to try to rail those corners. You did good, yeah.
Yeah, killed it in a good way.
It's interesting. You see out there a couple of the guys as we're looking at Ulrich right now going around there, starting to do that double single on that big triple, just in case they go to get underneath the guy.
Just to feel what it's like, yeah.
How huge would it be if you could get underneath the guy, make a block pass, and just still seat hop and do the triple and score it away?
There goes Cooper, and there's Malcolm. I think Cooper's on another heater. Let's check him out.
Well, 2:40 to go.
Yeah.
Let's see him out there just working the bike.
Oh, man. Justin Hill jumps in between them. So our top 3 are separated by, Cooper Webb 51.5, Justin Hill at 51.1, and Malcolm Stewart at 51.0.
Yeah. 51.101, and like you said, Hill with a 51.144.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any closer than that.
No.
2 minutes to go here in 250 Group qualifying number 2. Action's heating up. Malcolm Stewart's been the fastest pretty much through the whole session, but Cooper and Justin Hill, they're trying to put in some laps. Oh! I thought Malcolm was going to go down after the whoops.
Let's hope not.
Oh, hate that. Here's Chris Aldridge, didn't crash last weekend, got into the main event. I think he pulled off a 9th place. That's
not bad. Consistency.
That's what you spoke about last weekend, Jim. He just needs to finish the race.
Yeah, you got to learn. You got to be out there for the whole 15 laps so you can kind of see, hey, lap 10, I started to get tired. I started to breathe a little hard. Okay, I got to work on my fitness as far as my cardio. Or, lap 10, I started to pump up. I got an arm pump or something. Or, my legs. I just couldn't get my butt off the seat when I needed to stand up. I got to work on my legs. There's a lot of things that you can gain by finishing. I mean, you know he's fast. We've seen him. He's fast. But then he wads himself after like 3 or 4 laps in the main event. He doesn't have an opportunity to see what he needs to work on during the week to progress.
So what you're saying is he needs to stop wadding himself.
Yes. And he did that last week with a 9th. A 9th was happy. I'm sure Mitch Payton and the guys were happy. They said, okay, a 9th, that's great. You were in the top 10. Now let's build for it in Levi Stadium. Let's try to get you in that top 5, you know, and see where you're at.
And keep it on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
So, with 30 seconds to go, it is still, well, Justin Hill, there it is. Justin Hill with 50.7. Well, there's Cooper Webb at 50.6. Look at these guys go.
Yeah, these guys are always, and you know, the thing about it is when they run up into the 450 class, when they graduate from the 250 class, you're going to see the same. These guys are they're just giving you a little taste of what it's going to be like when they get up to that 450. They're going to wait till the last minute to try to put in those lap times like we're seeing with Webb. But you know, the interesting thing is that Webb's best lap time of 50.687, his last lap of 50.687. So that is consistency right there. You know, stringing together back-to-back laps like that.
Checkered flag is out. Cooper Webb comes up there at the end of that one. That was a hotly contested group qualifying effort right there. Cooper Webb's your fastest, your new 250 West Supercross champion.
But see, look at below here. This is what's kind of a little bit demoralizing. You see Justin Hill with a 50.7, his last lap of 59.7, and then you go back and you look at the times and went, man, Cooper went that fast with just so close.
Yeah.
It's hard to compete against that.
Yeah, Cooper's going to come down and talk to Ashley here shortly. We'll keep our eye on him. Those little whip over the finish line.
We're going to talk to Josh real quick and then just get him a thing. If we go to Ashley, we'll go down there. But 17 there. Hopefully he takes a little bit of time there. And there he is, the man who runs that Mr. 100, I want to call you, Josh. Cooper Webb there, just kind of navigating his way through there and up on the podium to talk to Ashley.
Miss Ashley for a little bit here. We'll see how, you know, late there in the going, he was the fastest.
Well, Cooper Webb has been a dominating factor here on the West Coast and wrapped up the championship with 1 race left to go. Everyone was kind of questioning if Coop was going to come out and try as hard as he did once the championship was wrapped up, and that just proved a point. Coop, you're so fast, and you go into tonight with the pole position. How are you feeling knowing that this championship's wrapped up and you're still out there putting in your hard laps?
Oh, you know, this weekend's the pressure was off. We were able to clinch the title around early, so I just got out here and kind of have fun, do my thing, try some new settings that we wanted to try all year, and just kind of ride some laps. And you know, the last lap I had an awesome lap and tried to go racing. This track's gonna be tough to do 15 on, and luckily I feel really strong, so it should be a good night.
Coop, we saw you go down in the first round of qualifying. What happened out there? Were you okay? How much work did you have to do on the bike?
We had to do a lot of work on the bike. I actually endoed pretty good, and my mechanic Eric Gass and the whole Star Racing team had to change the whole front end on this bad boy. And but it was awesome. I can't thank the man up above enough. My mom and dad, my mechanic Eric, the whole Star Racing Yamaha team, Rockstar, Toyota Escondido, Cannondale, Garrett Swanepoel, 100%. Just everybody that keeps me out here and up front. Thank you guys.
Have you soaked it in that you're the champion of 2015 yet?
I'm definitely soaking it in, but you know, there's no off time, unfortunately. It's right back to go racing, and I'm just another guy on the starting gate tonight.
Well, congratulations on a fast lap time and the championship for 2015. Give it up for that number 17 with the red background. He is the champion of 2015. Yamaha Star Racing Yamaha rider Cooper Webb.
And we're back in 450A group. Qualifying number 2 is on the track, and joining us here is Josh Hansen. Hey man, what's the news? Are you okay? Why weren't you out there?
Yeah, I kind of just been, I got hurt last weekend and cracked 5 ribs, and I just been all pretty bruised up and down me, and and honestly, I really love this track too. It's actually an awesome track, and it's kind of right up my alley. It just, I'm struggling so bad just to be able to sleep at night, more or less trying to ride a dirt bike, so I'm just gonna wait until tonight and try to make it happen.
You got a big fan behind you here. Look at that, the number 100, Hanny there.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's good to see the love. I mean, it's a bummer that I can't get back to these guys and my team as sitting here on the sidelines, but it's good to see these people. It makes it good.
How is it out there, the party in the pits?
I don't know. I haven't been partying. I've been partying with Dr. G on some
Rehab?
all my stuff, my rehab. Yeah, so I haven't got to see the pit parties, but it looks like everybody's having a good time. It's hard not to. It's beautiful outside. It's a nice stadium.
See, Josh called it beautiful too. So.
Yeah. I call it beautiful.
I call it gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous? Gorgeous, beautiful. I think it's great.
Speaking of that, how is it you're a new dad now, and how's that going for you?
Yeah, I never thought I'd be saying that I'm a dad, for sure. Yeah, I'm pushing 2.5 months, a little baby girl. It's probably, it's made me get my stuff together. It's made, definitely makes it a little bit worthwhile to get home to every time. I mean, it's awesome. It's a pretty cool thing.
Do you color Easter eggs?
Yeah, actually, I mean, she's did a little bit of that, but I don't know, she's a little too young. So, but these holidays coming up are going to be exciting now.
What are you looking forward tonight? You know, getting that main event. What would you like to be happy with? I know last time we saw you before the BRAC, it was you know, you had a 4th in San Diego. Last weekend, you and Hill came together. You had to come through the last chance. You got a bad start. I watched you. You worked your way up and finished 11th.
Yeah, I would like to say I'd like to be at podium or especially right now, just a race right now, kind of how I've been feeling. But a podium would need to happen before a race win. I mean, I really thought going into this that I would have a lot of podiums and maybe some race wins, and I haven't even got up there. I've gotten a 4th, and it's nothing to write home about. So my year hasn't been the best. I would love to change it around, because this isn't something that I want to go into the summer and look back on my whole winter time and be happy with what's going on.
I think you got to give yourself a little more credit though, Josh. You were out for a long time, you know, and these kids are fast. You know, they're sending it out there, you know, but I think you've been really impressive. You've raced hard, got a 4th place finish, you know. I know you wanted a podium, you know, but you got a little bit of a digger there. But
yeah, no, the kids are fast. It's definitely been a little bit different coming back into it, especially trying to do your own team, but it's no excuse. It's something that you have goals and you would like to reach them for you and others on your team, and we've been working hard, but we've been a little bit off that. It's not to say it can't happen, but things need to change up. You got somebody like Cooper Webb that rides hurt, and he's a bad dude, you know, so it's like it's time to man up and make it happen.
All right, well, good luck in that main event. We know you got to go back and see Dr. G. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I saw you walking by, and we didn't see you on there. We wanted to find out what happened.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, bud, take care. All right, look at the man out front, the new 2015 champion, Ryan Dungey, with that 50.8.
Right, and Anderson was fast again. He jumped right to the top right at the beginning of the session there. 4:58 qualified number 2. This is it. Let's see if anybody can get ahead of the number 5. That's a pretty good lap right there. 50.8, followed by Chad Reed. Good to see Reed with some pep in his step. And here's Justin Barsha, his 2nd race back to action after getting injured about 5 races into the season. Good to see Bam Bam back on the track.
Well, talk about a guy jumping up to the top. There's Eli Tomac with a 50.7. So just a 10th faster than Dungey there. But how about Reed with a 51.3?
Good to see Reed fast again. And man, Tomac, I'm telling you, all season long in qualifying, if he wants to drop a lap any given time, he's the fastest guy that can do it.
There's our boy Seeley, though, the man who won last weekend, the first, a 50.4.
The whoops here.
3/10 faster.
A little slow-mo action.
I like that shot there. You just watch him dancing with that motorcycle, and just the way he's working, the way he's changing his body positioning and stuff, and it paid off through the whoops with that 50.4.
Tomac's just kind of riding around going, yep, I'm the fastest. Go ahead and get some of that. Well, hell, look who went and got some of that. Look who's the fastest now.
Yeah.
Cole Seeley. 50.4. So with about 5 minutes to go in 450 group qualifying number 2, it's Cole Seeley, Eli Tomac, Ryan Dungey, Chad Reed, and Jason Anderson with your top 5.
Yeah, I think
note that number 6 is Kyle Partridge. That's pretty good for him.
Yeah, no, Kyle, like we said, he was going through the whoops great, and that's where he's going to strong as we see the 7 deuce.
Bummer.
Losing the front end there, it looks like, but he's going to be up and okay. Robert Kelly down there.
Adam's back on his feet. Good to see Adam back on his feet there.
Yeah, Robert's been around the sport a long time, Robert Kelly. He supplies all the flaggers for all the West Coast rounds, and it's been on a little bit of a hiatus. He didn't make it out to Houston, but he'll finish out here and then take the weekend off, and then he'll be in Las Vegas.
Cole Seeley, the fastest so far here at 4:58 qualifying number 2. As soon as I say that, Jim, I think they're waiting for me to say it. Because then Dungey jumps right back to the top with a 50 flat. That's a half a second faster than the field right now.
I think I still think with the time we have left, just a little over 4 minutes, I think we're going to see somebody get into the 49s.
You called it. Well, if they do, you definitely called that about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
I don't think they're going to touch that 50 flat. Well, how far is Tomac's got to have to get 8/10 faster in order to get there? So.
Yeah, we see, but you got to remember that, with this track the way it is here, that KTM might be working great because it's a steel frame. It's
got a little forgiveness to it.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of flex to it, so that might be playing into Dungey's hand here. As we're seeing, the track starting to dry out a little bit. It's marbly out there, though, that's for sure.
3 minutes to go. It's Dungey, Seeley, Weston Pike jumps into the third position, followed by Eli Tomac and Kyle Partridge. Cracks off a heater, and Kyle Partridge sits 5th place right now.
Yeah, and we're getting a chance to look at Dungey there. Look, he's running handguards. We haven't seen that in a long time for Dungey to run those handguards up there. And we talked about it earlier in the show. The track here has some rocks in it, and Dungey wanted to protect his hands there.
Those are some pretty expensive hands.
Yeah.
They got a lot more expensive last weekend.
That's right. Well, I think he doesn't want to have a problem with his hands starting in the outdoors, starting with a hand injury or something like that. Just protecting himself, trying to look to see if anyone else, but he looks like he might be on another heater right now. Yeah. We'll see what happens here if he can drop that thing into the 49.
It's not a little bit of traffic. I don't know if this is going to touch that 50 flat, but we'll find out right here. Last lap was a 49.9.
What'd I tell you?
You said it, Jim Hawley. 49.9. How about that?
Yeah, I knew that, like that frame and everything that we were talking about earlier, the flex in it, I just think that this track lends itself to that type of, a racing condition. It's going to be a little bit better for him out there. And now the only thing he has to do is just go out and get that whole shot and pick up $1,500 from supercrosslive.com and lead 20 more in the main events.
You called it, Jim.
And he's still out there. He's still trying to hammer down and look for some other, we'll see if he can, get it down a little lower. But he's charging right now. He's just flowing. I mean, it's beautiful to watch poetry in motion right now.
He can put his wheels wherever he wants.
He's hitting all of his marks. The rear wheel broke loose there just a little bit, but comes up and over the finish line, and we'll see. But a 50.5, so consistent, back-to-back laps for him. If you look at some of the other guys, they got a Weston Pike, for instance, or Cole Seeley with a 50.4, and then he did a 51.0. Weston Pike with a 50.7, then he did a 56.1. Dungey's a lot like we saw with the other guys, as the wind is really picking up here tonight.
Yeah, I went from a breeze to a good wind. Now I call this a gust.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be all right and it'll die down. Usually he's just picking up some of the moisture off of the ocean, maybe trying to get that marine layer in, but I think come race time it'll be pretty calm.
Ryan Dungey, how about that?
I was thinking maybe I got to hang on to this monitor over here and I hate to lose a monitor.
And in your screen here, we haven't given him much love. Kyle Chisholm from Florida. Kyle Chisholm's been swinging for a long time, a journeyman privateer, still giving it a good effort.
Well, and anytime he can get that bike in the main event, that's a huge payday for him.
Big accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
Sponsors, contingency.
And last weekend, with down there in Houston, he rode pretty good. He got a 12th, so right behind Baggett. So he's.
I'm going to cut you off, Jim. We have another new leader here in 450 qualifying number 2.
And he was lurking in the back. You said it earlier. Hey, Tomac, where's he going to find that 8/10 of a second? Well, he just found it.
He just found it and then some. He picked up an entire second. So the gauntlet's been thrown down right there. Eli Tomac, the fastest, 49.7, followed by a 49.9. Cole Seeley's the third quickest, followed by Jason Anderson, Weston Pike, Blake Baggett, Andrew Short, Kyle Partridge, Chad Reed, and Brock Tickle rounding out your top 10. That was exciting. That was a good 450 qualifying session right there. The checkered flag is out. Tomac claims it.
Yeah, and he claimed it on the first time practice too. So, I mean, what do you do? Do you think Tomac's going to win his third of the year here?
If he gets a good start.
You got to get the good start.
What have we been talking about all day long?
I wish we could do our podium picks after the heat races, because I want to see what kind of start he gets in a heat race.
Right.
If he gets a bad start in the heat race, has to come through the semi. I'm saying absolutely not. Very hard to hold shot when you come through a semi.
And we're keeping an eye on Tomac. He's going to go down and talk to Lurch on the podium. And maybe he can answer some of those questions you just asked, Jim.
Well, it's always good to see it, but I still kind of think might have to go with Dungey. I just think He's a little bit more consistent.
Going with Dungey tonight.
I think so. Yeah.
Boy, I don't know, man. I can't really go against that. He gets better starts than Tomac, but Tomac 2/10 faster.
Yeah, but that was one lap. You got to remember that there's 20 of those main event laps out there. Very hard to.
You think Tomac's going to get tired? Yeah. We're going to get Dungey instead. Tomac's so fast, he's already back at the pits.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for your brand new crown 2015 Monster Energy Supercross champion, the red background at number 5, Red Bull KTM, Ryan Dungey. Congratulations on your fantastic year. 3 rounds left, but man, already that championship.
Yeah, and it definitely feels good, but you know, we got 3 races left, and you know, we want to finish strong, and you know, every race counts. So it's good to be out. Got a good feel for the track. Got edged out just a little bit, but overall everything feels good, and excited for the night show and get underway to racing.
You know, sitting at about a 52nd lap, Eli Tomac on that first one went 49.9. You got down to the 49.9, then he went off right before you and pulled off a 49.7, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, definitely, and Eli's been good all year. You know, it's a given, and he makes it tough. So he's a good competitor, and but you know, we'll give it our all. You know, the race is what counts. So overall, I'm happy with the bike. Everything feels good, and practice got everything dialed in, and you know, got a good time, and you know, got a good start lineup for the heat race. So that's the main objective.
You know, it doesn't matter where we build a track, but being in a new building, always an exciting time for everyone, the fans, the teams, and everybody. What do you think so far?
Definitely. It's always good to stop at a new venue. You know, we visit a lot of areas multiple times, so to switch it up is nice. It's good to be up here in the Bay Area, fresh, clean air, and the fans have always been good here, so I'm excited to be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the 2015 Monster Energy Supercross AMA champion of Ryan Dungey.
Well, thanks a lot.
Ryan Dungey, second fastest there in 450 qualifying number 2. Tomac was the fastest. Joining us on the show is Vicky Golden. What'd you think about that action right there?
Man, it's good. The track's pretty gnarly this weekend. They did a good job building it, but it's definitely technical and not one you want to make a mistake on, that's for sure.
A little bit of hard pack, a little bit of rocks. Yeah, mistakes out there, no good, huh?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, tell us, you got to go ride on the track for press day and go out there and put in some laps?
Yeah, we did a few sections out here. It was pretty good, but like I said, it's pretty technical, and triple's big this weekend.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot harder for a 2DF, but obviously the 450s are getting it over it just no problem.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to next weekend, East Rutherford, New Jersey?
I am. I'm not looking forward to the weather. I'm pretty happy with what we got going on right now.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so good.
Well, we're going to have our picks for you guys here in a little bit. Vicky Golden's going to chime in and try to battle me and Jim and see who can pick the top 3 in both the 250 and the 450 class. But for now, here's a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Carson Mumford on the 122 bike, Super Mini Class, Monster Cup, Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. You're watching Race Day Live.
Carson Mumford there, that was pretty cool.
Welcome back to Levi Stadium. Carson Mumford there at the Monster Cup, riding in the Super Mini Class. It was cool, Jim.
I'm sure he'll be back there this year on October 17th. He'll be back at it again.
That's right, man. Well, it's that time of the show again. You've made it the whole way, brother. It's your birthday. You got food poisoning. Yeah. Kept the throttle on the whole way through.
I earned my money this week, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
All right, well, Vicky, this is the time when you got to pick your top 3 for that 250 class.
250, man? Oh, man, I think Malcolm's got it. He's riding good, and he's definitely overdue for a win.
He was on Race Day Live, so he's got luck with him.
Exactly.
So that's your first one. So
who's second?
Fill out your podium. Who you got for second?
You know, Coop's obviously going to be up there for sure, and I'd love to see Hanny put it together and get up there. He's definitely got plenty of potential to be on the podium.
Yeah.
And he was on the show. He's got a little bit of
he took a digger.
Some injuries and
He's
stuff.
A little bit beat up, but yeah, I'd like to see him podium too.
All right. Well, it's my turn. I'm gonna go with the champ. I'm gonna go with Cooper Webb. I'm gonna put Malcolm Stewart in that second. I think Justin Hill's gonna get a podium. I'm picking Justin Hill. I know Kurt Binke, the Minnesota Madman, he likes Hill to win also. So we'll see what happens. No, I'm sorry, Cooper? I made a mistake. Not Cooper. Cooper. He likes Cooper. He's sticking with the Yamaha guy.
Well, I'm going to stick with Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb's going to win this one. I think him and Malcolm Stewart are going to put on a show.
Yeah.
I hope Malcolm gets a good start. We get to see those two go at it because they both have, like Vicky said, they both have a lot of speed today here in Santa Clara. And round out the podium, Shane McElrath. He's had 2 second-place finishes in a row. I think Shane's going to stay strong. going to be rounding out our podium. So Cooper Webb, Malcolm Stewart, Shane McGrath.
Good pick. Okay, Vicky, for you, that 450, that's going to be hard to pick also. I mean, what do you do? Tomac's fast, Dungey's fast.
Anderson's fast.
fast.
Pike's fast.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone's
Reed's
just going so fast out here. It's unbelievable watching him ride. But, man, I think I want to say Pike's going to be up there. Maybe not a win, but I'm hoping he can keep his fitness up. He's been looking great during the week as well.
So you're going to put him down for a third, Pike?
I want to say put him down for a third, and then obviously I think, Tomac's definitely overdue for a win for sure. He's got that fire, so I'm going to say he's probably going to hopefully take this thing home today, and Dungey for sure is going to still be up there, but he's got the championship wrapped up, so I think he's still going to play it smart and just get through the weekends now.
Okay, good. Awesome. Those are great picks.
But
I mean,
I do have to say that there's going to be one guy out there that's going to be throwing some big whips for sure. I saw Tom P out here.
Oh, boy.
He's definitely going to throw out some whips. He may not be running up front, but you'll bet you'll see his drain plug, that's for sure.
On the triple, for sure.
For sure.
Well, and you got a chance to, we talked about earlier on the show how hard it is to huck that triple on that side for the 250s. It's pretty hard, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely, you're going to definitely need some good race gas in your bike, and just hope for the best on that one.
All right, well, I'm going to go with, I think Dungey's going to win tonight. I just have a feeling, I think that bike's working good for him. I think with that, steel frame versus the aluminum frame, it flexes a little bit more. I think that, the Feld track crew is going to do a great job on getting this thing prepared tonight, but I think I'm going to go with Dungey to win. I think Tomac, I'm just not happy on his starts. I mean, you just can't give these guys that, I'm going off of last weekend. He was fast last weekend, and he had horrible starts last weekend, had to come through the semi to get that Honda into the main event, so I'm going to put him second. And I think, after last weekend, the Lobo, Jason Anderson, I think with what he had, he didn't make a lot of friends last weekend.
No.
Pike's not his buddy anymore. And
not
probably,
a guy you want to trifle with
Reed
either.
or whatever. But I think he's got so much determination to get back on the point. And I'm leaving out Seeley too. I mean, Seeley could be
let me see your
in there.
pin. I'm going to change mine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, see how he is.
Yeah.
I give him a lot. I forgot Seeley. You forgot.
Yeah,
I didn't forget
Seeley.
I just think and Seeley could win his back to back.
2 in a row.
So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Dungey 3-21 there, and we'll see what happens. I know Kurt Benke likes the number 5 to win, so Andy, you made some changes.
I did. Well,
Who are you going with?
I had the exact same picks that you did, so I had to change it up,
Well,
man.
you didn't have to.
Yeah, I think Seeley.
I'll share it with you.
I think Ryan Dungey's going to win this thing. He's riding too well. The confidence is at an all-time high. His machine's working just the way he wants it to. The guy can't even misplace a tire out there. Looks amazing on the bike. Eli Tomac's been the fastest in both qualifying sessions. I think he's going to chase him home in second place. Like you said, Jim, can't get the starts, and bottom line, if you don't start with Dungey, you're not going to catch him.
Well, and the other thing about it, last weekend in Houston, you mentioned Dungey. I mean, he had a horrible start. I mean, he was outside that top 10, and he had a championship to win, and he just kind of picked his way through. That championship is already over, so he has no pressure anymore. So I think he's just going to ride relaxed tonight, and I saw him riding relaxed. I saw a different Ryan Dungey than I did in Houston on this track here. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I think Cole Seeley's going to round out my podium picks.
All right.
He won last weekend. He's been fast all day today. Cole's riding really well. He's been on it for the whole second half of the series. So Cole's been good. He's going to be on the podium, and I think that's going to be it in some particular order.
Vicky, I want you to make history next weekend.
I do too.
25th of April, MetLife Stadium, Fox Broadcasting Network, not Fox 1, not Fox 2. It starts at 3 o'clock on that East Coast. I want to see you in that main event.
I do too. I mean, or
at least in the heat race.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to be out there.
One step at a time.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, even if I make it, I won't be making the night show. It'll be the day show. So,
but that's all right. You'll still, for the first time ever. I mean,
you're in the show.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're in the show, and you got Fox Broadcasting Network carrying it live. That's the first time ever in Supercross for that. I mean, that's a big deal. It's huge.
Yeah, that whole venue, even the press we even have going to I think Grand Central, and just going out there and just it's definitely a lot of media opportunities, and like you said, it's New York. Who doesn't want to go to New York and ride a dirt bike? It's going to be sweet. I think the weather's going to be pretty crappy, but
it's all right.
It's
crappy for everybody.
Exactly. Just hopefully it doesn't rain, because Cali kids don't do that. You know that. That ain't going to happen.
Now, when you're at Grand Central Station, that's going to be on Thursday, the 23rd of April at noon.
That's correct.
Are you going to take that bike and go down the stairs and get on the rail?
You bet I am.
All right, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
That's awesome. It's going to be a great show tonight here. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank all of our international viewers. We want to thank all of our guests. We had Troy Lee, Malcolm Stewart, Ken Roczen, Lynn Grooms, Jeremy Myers. We even sat down and talked to Ryan Dungey today. We want to thank all of our sponsors, MMI, AMSOIL, DC Shoes, Yamaha. It's going to be a good show tonight on Fox Sports 1 at 7 p.m. local, 10 o'clock Eastern. What do you think, Jim? It's your birthday.
Well, I want to thank Vicky for coming on the show also, and Josh Hansen. We kind of stole him away there, and he was watching. I want to thank those guys. But I think it's going to be an amazing show. And like you said, I think that the racing tonight is going to be huge. I think we're going to see some battles out there tonight.
Going to be some battles. Going to be racing California weather, California girls. Levi Stadium is the first one, baby. Tune in tonight. Fox Sports 1.